This young man was once the Beishian Immortal Venerable. At age 30, a chance encounter led Chun Fan into the world of cultivation. Possessing astonishing talent, it took him only 500 years to reach the tribulation crossing stage. He was hailed as a peerless prodigy, considered the most likely person in the cultivation world to successfully cross the tribulation and ascend in the last millennium. He even had a chance to ascend to a higher world. Unfortunately, because Chun Fan cultivated too rapidly, his foundation was unstable, causing him to succumb to a heart demon and ultimately fail against the lightning tribulation. But Chun Fan didn't truly perish. Instead, he unexpectedly reincarnated, returning to July 2007. When he opened his eyes, he realized he was sitting on the very bus he took that summer, traveling from Sisui County to Chuzhou to start his senior year of high school. The whole ordeal was astonishing, yet it wasn't a figment of a heart demon. The Beishian Immortal Venerable no longer exists. He has truly reverted to his 17-year-old self, Chun Fan. Even though he currently possesses zero cultivation power, his powerful magic, his cultivation of the primordial spirit, and even his spiritual artifacts, all lost entirely. But perhaps this is for the best, because in this life, Chun Fan intends to cultivate diligently. He will perfect every single realm, ensuring a stable foundation to reach the highest peak. All past debts and regrets must be settled to prevent heart demons from arising. The bus was nearing Chuzhou. Chun Fan couldn't recall the last time he had truly seen the city. Just then, the phone in his pocket began to ring. It was his mother. Chun Fan quickly picked up. "Hello, Xiao Fan. Annie Tang should be waiting for you at the bus station by now. When you get to Chuzhou, remember to study hard, all right?" In his past life, ever since his mother passed, he had constantly longed for her. In his past life, he never imagined in his wildest dreams that he would return to the age of 17. Outside the bus station, Annie Tang, the person his mother had arranged everything with, was waiting with her daughter. Her daughter, however, looked very impatient due to the hot weather and long wait. Just as she was about to retreat into the air-conditioned car, Chun Fan's voice rang out. "Annie Tang, sorry to keep you waiting." Chun Fan climbed into Annie Tang's luxury car. Her daughter secretly sized him up from head to toe. Annie Tang had often tried to set her daughter up with Chun Fan, so she was genuinely curious about his appearance. But seeing him today brought extreme disappointment. Chun Fan looked completely ordinary. At best, they could only be friends. "Xiao Fan, my daughter is starting high school this year too. Please keep an eye on her for me." Annie Tang, sitting in the driver's seat, spoke abruptly. "Don't worry, Annie Tang. Jiang Churen is like my little sister now, and I'll make sure to protect her." Chun Fan replied earnestly. He glanced at her beside him. She was exactly as he remembered. Jiang Churen had been his crush in his past life. After being hurt, Chun Fan eventually let go of those feelings. "Anyway, if anything ever happens, just come find me." Chun Fan offered his hand. Jiang Churen smiled brightly and shook his hand. "Just don't forget what you promised then." The atmosphere between them seemed friendly. But Jiang Churen secretly viewed Chun Fan as nothing more than a country bumpkin. Her father was a government official, and her mother owned a company with assets totaling tens of millions. Everyone who pursued Jiang Churen came from powerful backgrounds. Having lived in luxury since childhood, it wasn't surprising that she didn't pay Chun Fan any mind. Annie Tang drove Chun Fan to the apartment she had rented for him. The apartment was located near a lake, had beautiful scenery, and was close to Chongqing Tung High School, just a 10-minute walk away. Moreover, the apartment had 2 bedrooms and a living room. The living conditions were exceptionally good for a high school student like Chun Fan. Just live here without any worries about the rent. All you need to do is focus on your studies, understood? Annie Tang said cheerfully. Just as in his previous life, she was genuinely kind to Chun Fan. "Thank you, Annie Tang. This is too much trouble." "It's no trouble at all. Your mother entrusted you to me. From now on, you're like my own son." After saying this, Annie Tang took Chun Fan's hand and led him away. They were headed back to her house for dinner. Annie Tang lived in Dragon View Villa, which looked incredibly luxurious at first sight. Yet, she mentioned this house wasn't even considered the best in Chuzhou. The truly premium properties were located halfway up Mount Yunwu, where one could wake up and see clouds drifting by from their window. "If you really like that, Annie Tang, I'll earn money to buy you a few houses there later, so you can watch the clouds drift by every day when you wake up." When Chun Fan finished, Aunt Tang stared blankly for a moment, then burst out laughing, finding him absolutely endearing. All right, I'll look forward to it. Later, get your mother to come back too. We'll grow old together there, spending all day shopping and getting beauty treatments. Looking at how cheerful she was, it was a stark contrast to her daughter, Jiang Truan. When she heard everything Chun Fan just said, she dismissed him as being full of hot air and disliked him even more. After chatting for a bit, the three of them headed inside. Aunt Tang went to the kitchen and cooked some hometown dishes, which Chun Fan thoroughly enjoyed. Jiang Truan's grumpy demeanor was clearly inherited from her father. While waiting for dinner, Jiang Haishan had made small talk with Chun Fan. Noticing his lack of understanding and mediocre academic performance, he quickly dismissed Chun Fan as a good-for-nothing, far inferior to other people's children. Chun Fan acted like he hadn't even noticed the old man's disdainful glares. Aunt Tang was virtuous, kind-hearted, beautiful, and an incredible cook. It was a shame she married Jiang Haishan, a power-hungry man who was always crude and abusive towards his wife and daughter. After dinner, Aunt Tang suggested Jiang Chun show Chun Fan around Chuzhou and pick up some new clothes for him. But when they reached the door, she immediately claimed she had plans and told him to go alone. Jiang Chun expected Chun Fan to shamelessly cling to her and beg her to show him around. But to her surprise, before she could even say a second sentence, he had already walked out the door by himself. Strangely, this unexpected indifference actually made the young miss feel dissatisfied. Chun Fan didn't pay any mind to her reaction, simply wandering off at a leisurely pace. Not far away was Yangue Lake, which also happened to have the densest spiritual energy in the entire region. He found a large tree, sat down, and began cultivating. Time is precious. I need to quickly advance to the foundation establishment stage. Let's review the cultivation realms. Cultivators are categorized into 8 stages: Qi condensation, innate realm, golden core, nascent soul, soul formation, void reversion, doubt integration, and finally, tribulation transcendence. Even though Qi condensation is the lowest realm, it's also divided into 3 minor stages: foundation establishment, profound insight, and divine sea. Once completed, a practitioner can lift 1,000 pounds with their bare hands and run as fast as a horse, transcending the limits of the physical body. Chun Fan felt a bit lost, unsure which foundation establishment method he should choose. The secret techniques he had collected over 500 years were countless. For foundation establishment alone, he had 13,726 methods to choose from. Though it's just the entry-level realm, it's crucial. Only with a solid foundation can one build a towering structure. In his previous life, Chun Fan failed the tribulation because his foundation wasn't solid enough. So this time around, he refused to repeat that mistake. After pondering for a while, he decided to use the Great Tao Sect void body tempering art. Having selected the cultivation technique, Chun Fan immediately began practicing. He cultivated nonstop from sunrise to deep night, and only truly succeeded by the following morning. Fortunately, he chose an excellent technique, allowing him to immediately enter the early stage of foundation establishment in his very first attempt. Right now, Chun Fan felt his body overflowing with energy. He tested his power by punching the trunk of the tree behind him, leaving a massive dent in the ancient wood. This is just pure physical strength, and it's already this powerful. Chun Fan was extremely pleased. Next, he needed to go fill his rumbling stomach. After all, this body is still mortal. It still needs food. Chun Fan left the lakeside area, but before he took more than a few steps, he was blocked by a group of 3 people. At the front stood an old man with silvery hair and beard, yet his eyes shone with a sharp, spirited gaze. Chun Fan immediately grew cautious. "Who are you?" The old man shook his head and mumbled to the person behind him. Perhaps he's just a young person jogging by chance. But with a quick glance, Chun Fan noticed traces of true essence within the girl behind them. At first, he thought she might be a fellow cultivator. But upon closer inspection, her true essence was too weak, yet paradoxically, it was too abundant and solidified. Compared to a genuine cultivator's true essence, hers was infinitely weaker. Thinking this to himself, Chun Fan unconsciously shook his head and let out a soft sigh. He didn't realize that even this small gesture was noticed by the opposing group. "Hey, what's with the head shaking?" "Oh, my bad. I was just lost and thought about something else." Chun Fan offered his excuse and tried to leave. But suddenly, The younger man stepped forward, blocking his path. The white-haired old man insisted that Chun Fan had looked at his granddaughter and shaken his head, so he was determined to get an explanation. Even though Chun Fan told them it had nothing to do with them, they were adamant about not letting him leave. Judging by your stance, young brother, you appear to be a fellow practitioner from the martial arts community. I am Wei Fu. Might I inquire where you hail from, brother? The old man clasped his hands and asked, politely asking Chun Fan. Wei Fu was polite, so Chun Fan responded that he didn't practice martial arts. He cultivated the Tao, only knowing some basic qi condensation methods. But to his dismay, his answer only led to more trouble. Because Wei Fu wanted Chun Fan to spar with his granddaughter and offer some pointers. His granddaughter is that girl with the scattered foundation. Not much talent, but she's certainly got confidence. Chun Fan let out a sigh. Looks like I'll have to use my power today, right after breaking through foundation establishment. He didn't want to physically harm a seemingly weak girl, so he turned and picked up a fallen leaf. Chun Fan infused the leaf with energy and flicked it with a small amount of force. Wei Fu saw what he was doing and shouted, careful! But if Chun Fan truly had malicious intent, Wei Fu's warning would be too late anyway. The leaf shot forward like a bullet, severing several strands of the girl's hair and leaving a fine scratch across her cheek. She spun around to see the very leaf that had grazed her now impaled deeply into the tree trunk behind her. Wei Fu sighed in relief, seeing his granddaughter hadn't been seriously injured. He seemed thrilled to witness such a miraculous technique in his twilight years. He was also astonished that the young man before him, who appeared so ordinary, was actually a hidden martial arts grandmaster. Wei Fu had been polite before, but now his demeanor shifted to genuine reverence. So, a true grandmaster stands before us. My granddaughter and I apologize for our transgression, sir. In contrast to her grandfather, the girl looked sullen. You used only this fragile leaf to cut my hair, and embedded in the tree trunk. How is that even possible? It's just a simple qi refining technique. Nothing worth mentioning. Wei Fu responded, to you it might be trivial, but to me, this is a truly wondrous grandmaster technique. Wei Fu spoke, seeing her grandfather change his address and call a boy sir. The girl became even more disgruntled. As for Chun Fan, hearing them constantly call him grandmaster, he realized there must be a small number of people secretly cultivating on Earth today. He decided to probe further. Can these grandmasters you mention also perform techniques like this? Yes. Transformation stage grandmasters stand at the pinnacle of martial arts. They have completely transcended the mortal world. They can project their internal energy outward. Taking an enemy's life from 10 paces away is no challenge for them. Wei Fu replied, then grew curious. You're a grandmaster yourself, yet you don't know these things? This is all common knowledge within the martial arts world. So, the grandmaster realm he talks about is still just martial arts. But martial arts and immortal cultivation are two completely different paths. I'm genuinely just a cultivator. The move I used earlier was just a qi refining technique. As for what you said about internalize and externalize and grandmasters and all that, this is the first time I've ever heard of it. Chun Fan shrugged. Wei Fu had only ever known martial artists. This was the first time he'd heard of a cultivator. His eyes gradually grew suspicious. Could it be that this young man, with unparalleled strength, wasn't truly a transformation stage grandmaster? Wei Fu pondered this, but quickly decided whether or not he was a grandmaster didn't really matter. The important thing was that Chun Fan possessed real power, and he needed to win him over. Besides, his granddaughter was still unmarried. Perhaps this could lead to a good match. So Wei Fu immediately began thinking of ways to get closer to Chun Fan. It doesn't matter whether you're a grandmaster or not. From your accent, you sound like you're from Sazu, aren't you? I'm from Sisui County. I've lived there for 17 years. I came to Sazu this time to attend senior year of high school. My name is Chun Fan. You can also call me Chun Beixian. Beixian is the Dao name my master gave me. Wei Fu and his granddaughter exchanged glances. Sisui County, Chun Fan, Chun Beixian, they had never heard of any of these names. Wei Fu looked skeptical. He asked Chun Fan where his master was. That question was difficult to answer. Chun Fan truly didn't know which galaxy his master was currently traveling through. Wei Fu looked at Chun Fan with envious eyes. He was both young and powerful. In the end, humans cannot escape birth, old age, sickness, and death. His old martial arts comrades had all passed away. While Wei Fu had stubbornly trained, he still hadn't reached the Grandmaster realm. He figured he'd be joining them soon. Just as he thought this, a sharp pain shot through Wei Fu's chest, causing him to cough violently. The two young people beside him immediately grew anxious. Wei Fu reassured them that it was just his chronic condition flaring up, but Chun Fan, as an outsider, could see the problem instantly. You've stubbornly practiced a technique unsuitable for your body, leading to internal organ damage. You understand medicine too? How could you possibly see through my condition? Will looked quite surprised. His granddaughter explained that when he was young, her grandfather fought in a war and stubbornly used a powerful internal technique to protect his comrades. But because he couldn't fully control it, he suffered a severe injury. Since he couldn't receive timely treatment back then, the internal injury lingered. For decades, it's remained uncured, causing immense pain every time it acts up. Even modern medicine has been stumped. The girl earnestly pleaded with Chun Fan. Since he recognized her grandfather's injury, she believed he must have a cure and begged him to help. Mr. Chun, to be honest, our Wei family has considerable influence here in Jiangbei. As long as you can cure my grandfather, we will agree to any terms you set. Chun Fan wasn't particularly interested in the Wei family's influence. He simply saw how earnest the girl was. Furthermore, healing Wei wasn't a difficult task for him at all. Considering their chance meeting as fate, Chun Fan finally agreed to help. Wei's granddaughter and a young man next to her were overjoyed. You mean it? Chun Fan nodded, explaining that he needed a couple of days to prepare before coming to Wei's house to start the treatment. Only then did the girl relax and let out a relieved smile. A cold beauty still looks much better when she smiles. Afterward, Chun Fan was driven home by Wei's trusted young subordinate. The old man spoke modestly and politely, but couldn't fully conceal his heroic aura. Even if his granddaughter hadn't told him about the past, Chun Fan would have guessed that this man had been a soldier in his youth and likely held a high rank. He had always deeply respected soldiers who protected their country. Furthermore, Wei also practiced martial arts, which made them fellow practitioners in a sense. Therefore, Chun Fan decided to help if he could. While he was lost in thought, the car arrived back near his house. Chun Fan exchanged phone numbers with the man so they could arrange a ride to the Wei family home in 2 days. Afterward, Chun Fan went to a traditional Chinese medicine shop and bought a large amount of ingredients. To be honest, he wasn't skilled in traditional diagnosis and treatment, but he knew that a specific medicinal pill was exactly what Wei needed. And he just happened to be an expert in alchemy. Once home, Chun Fan quickly got to work, refining a batch of foundation restoration pills. These pills increase longevity and restore vital energy. They're practically a universal cure-all. They can be used for injuries, illnesses, or general weakness. Since their meeting was fated, Chun Fan decided to prepare one more gift for him. He took out some paper and a brush, starting to write something down. Just then, Aunt Tang called, saying she needed a favor from Chun Fan. Specifically, Jiang Chu Ran was going to a friend's birthday party. Aunt Tang wasn't comfortable letting her go alone, so she asked Chun Fan to accompany her. Honestly, Chun Fan wasn't too enthusiastic about going, but he figured it wouldn't take too long, just a quick meal. So, as a way to repay Aunt Tang's kindness, Chun Fan agreed. After hanging up, she immediately sent Chun Fan the time and location for the birthday party. Jiang Chu Ran was already gathered with her friends at that point. When she received her mother's call, she immediately became defensive. What? Chun Fan's coming here? I don't need him. Aunt Tang ignored her protest. She had just called to inform her. Jiang Chu Ran hung up the phone, and seeing her sullen expression, her friend asked, "What's wrong? Why the sudden long face? It's my birthday, you know. My mom told Chun Fan to come over, but I don't like him." Jiang Chu Ran grumbled. She had already mentioned this before, so her two friends knew Chun Fan was the son of Aunt Tang's best friend. He had recently moved to Chuzhou for his last year of high school, and Aunt Tang was enthusiastically trying to matchmake him with her daughter. What does he look like? What about his family background? Jiang Chu Ran's friend asked again, only to receive a painful hit on the head from her. You gold digger, are you only interested in his looks and family background? But her friend felt she hadn't said anything wrong. These days, if a guy isn't handsome, he at least needs money. Otherwise, how else can he pursue a girl? Of the two friends, the other one was calmer. While leisurely sipping her drink, she advised her friend. Although Manhwa's way of thinking wasn't entirely correct, but it's true that if the other person doesn't have good prospects, things can get complicated. Even if two people truly get along, being together will still bring many differences. The more they talked, the redder Jiang Chu Ran's cheeks became. She quickly dismissed them. I don't like him. Stop worrying about nonsense. It's so annoying. Just as the three of them finished their discussion, Chun Fan arrived. The moment he showed up, Zhang Yuman, Jiang Chu Ran's friend, immediately went on the offensive. So you're Chun Fan, trying to pursue Chu Ran? What makes you think you're good enough to go after our school beauty? Do you even know how many people chase her at school? Where do you get the nerve? Chun Fan and Jiang Chu Ran had only just met once yesterday, and he hadn't shown any interest in her. For her best friend to blurt this out made Jiang Chu Ran feel like she was making assumptions, leaving her deeply embarrassed. What made it even worse was that Chun Fan quickly dismissed her claims, explaining he was only here to have dinner at Antang's request and had absolutely no intention of pursuing Jiang Chu Ran. Then, his eyes locked onto the calm girl sipping tea. That was Su Rongfei. She was the truly important person, having met a tragic end in his previous life. Chun Fan hoped that this time, he could save her. Su Rongfei felt his gaze and asked, "Why are you looking at me? Do I know you?" "No." Chun Fan waved his hand. He then fabricated a story, claiming he knew how to tell fortunes and could read Su Rongfei's. Naturally, he possessed no actual fortune-telling ability. Everything he said was based purely on knowledge from his past life. "Even though this is our first time meeting, I know you're an art student. In the future, you'll pass the entrance exam for the Jing Film Academy." "How did you know I wanted to apply to the Jing Film Academy?" Su Rongfei maintained her calm demeanor, but internally, she was somewhat surprised. Zhang Yuman laughed at Chun Fan, calling him a country bumpkin who dared to sweet-talk girls here. Su Rongfei was a well-known figure at school. Everyone knew she was an art student. Because of this, Jiang Chu Ran disliked Chun Fan even more, seeing him as a smooth-talking playboy trying to mooch off rich girls. Only Su Rongfei remained somewhat skeptical. The reason? She had only told her mother about her goal to apply to Jing Film Academy last night. No one else knew, so how could Chun Fan possibly have found out? With her two best friends present, Su Rongfei didn't feel comfortable pressing the matter further. But from that moment on, she sensed something strangely unique about Chun Fan, a quality that sparked her constant curiosity. After a while, Zhang Yuman's boyfriend arrived to join them for afternoon tea. His name was Yang Chao. In his previous life, while Chun Fan studied in Chuzhou, Yang Chao had been his biggest rival. He loved showing off in front of pretty girls and, when bored, would constantly seek out trouble with Chun Fan. In this life, Yang Chao seemed just as obnoxious as before. The evidence. As soon as he spotted Chun Fan, he used a condescending tone to ask his girlfriend, "Zhang Yuman, who's this hick?" Zhang Yuman leaned in close to Yang Chao's ear and whispered something. He then flashed a cunning smile before approaching Chun Fan. "Hello, I'm Yang Chao. My family owns a 5-star hotel. So you dare pursue our school beauty, brother? You must have quite the background yourself." The greeting seemed casual, but it was really a boast about his family status, intended to embarrass Chun Fan, who was just a regular guy from the countryside. Chun Fan didn't even acknowledge the offered handshake, simply stating his name without giving Yang Chao any respect. "You got quite the attitude. We're all in the same school. We'll have plenty of time to get to know each other later," Yang Chao said icily. Su Rongfei felt a surge of worry. She knew Yang Chao wasn't someone to mess with. Someone who had crossed him before ended up getting beaten by his basketball team until they broke their leg and were forced to drop out. Chun Fan was just a new student without anyone to support him. What was he going to do? She instinctively turned back, saw Chun Fan smiling at her, then quickly looked away. What's he laughing at? Doesn't he know how serious this is? What idiot! Su Rongfei thought to herself, but her cheeks unexpectedly blushed. Yang Chao then started outlining the plans for tonight's entertainment. The plan involved singing karaoke, then getting dinner, and finally hitting a bar. It sounded like they wouldn't go home until morning. No wonder Aunt Tang had worried so much and asked Chun Fan to accompany them. But he had to go to the Wei family's place tomorrow. He didn't have time for this. While he was thinking this over, Yang Chao started stirring up trouble again. "Oh, I forgot to factor in Chun Fan's standards. Our cars are all full. If you don't mind, you can take your own car to the karaoke place." Chun Fan was beginning to get annoyed. The car clearly had plenty of space, and Yang Chao knew very well that Chun Fan didn't have his own ride. Yet, he still deliberately tried to make things difficult for him. Did he really think I wouldn't dare lay a hand on him? Chun Fan was still trying to figure out how exactly to teach Yang Chao a lesson when Su Rongfei suddenly poked her head out of the car and called, "Chun Fan, why don't you sit next to me?" It's fine if we squeeze together a little. Jiang Churen was fuming, grinding her teeth in frustration at Su Rongfei's actions. My dear Sister Su, what exactly are you doing? Sister, you're being indiscriminately kind again. Fine, I guess I'll just sit in the back seat instead. Zhang Yiming added. In the end, all three girls squeezed into the back seat. Chun Fan took the passenger seat, and Yang Chao was left driving. Just as he expected, Su Rongfei was as kind-hearted as she had been in his past life, making her worth saving. The car sped along the road, and soon pulled up to a magnificent karaoke venue. A few more of Yang Chao's friends were already waiting for them here. Eager to show off to the girls, he immediately requested the most exclusive private room, the Emperor's Suite. The manager hurried over, looking flustered as he explained that the Emperor's Suite was currently occupied by VIPs. However, they still had the Emperor's Suite, which would perfectly match Yang Chao's status. This idiot's nose was practically turned up to the sky after hearing the manager's compliments. Yang Chao was fine with it, but his buddies behind him weren't. They kept shouting that they demanded the Emperor's Suite. They claimed they wouldn't feel like singing unless they were in that specific room, saying anything less wasn't worthy of Yang Chao. This guy values face above all else. With his friends building him up like this, settling for the Emperor's Suite would mean losing face. On top of that, Zhang Yiming kept pestering him, insisting she wanted to sing in the Emperor's Suite too. He had no other choice. Yang Chao turned to the manager and said, "Show me some respect. My dad owns a 5-star hotel." "Sir, that really can't be arranged. The Emperor's Suite is also excellent." The manager became even more flustered. That's when Yang Chao's lackeys started causing trouble. They first struck the manager, then demanded to speak to the owner. Jiang Churen saw things getting out of hand and suggested they go somewhere else. But Zhang Yiming insisted on staying, even bragging about how her boyfriend's family owned a 5-star hotel, giving them the right to push people around. Noticing Jiang Churen's discomfort, and knowing Zhang Yiming wasn't exactly a good friend to her, Chun Fan suggested, "Annie Tang is waiting for us at home. Remember? Why don't we just head back?" "What exactly are you implying? Are you trying to steal people away from my party? So you're not going to join my birthday party after all?" Zhang Yiming's displeasure was obvious. "You can scram whenever you want, but you need to ask our campus belle if she wants to leave first." Yang Chao chimed in with a warning. Jiang Churen was in a difficult position, caught between Chun Fan and her best friend. But since she had only just met Chun Fan, Jiang Churen decided to stay and continue partying with everyone else. To show her appreciation for her good friend, Zhang Yiming even gave her a peck on the cheek. But when she turned back to Chun Fan, her demeanor completely changed. "All right, we've decided to stay here. So, Mr. Chun, why don't you hurry up and get lost?" Su Rongfei felt uncomfortable seeing Chun Fan's good intentions backfire and put him in such an awkward spot. But Jiang Churen claimed she couldn't help it, saying she didn't want to offend Zhang Yiming and Yang Chao. Chun Fan let out a sigh. Jiang Churen really doesn't know what's good for her. "It's just a headache for me, the babysitter. It's fine. He'll stay. He wants to see how these kids handle the trouble they've brought upon themselves." The trouble Chun Fan expected quickly came knocking. A group of mean-looking men suddenly appeared. "Who's making trouble here?" A huge, bald man demanded aggressively. "It's me. What are you going to do about it?" The blond young master who had hit the manager stepped forward, looking smug and instantly irritating. Immediately, those men grabbed him. The bald man said his boss wanted to have a word with him. Seeing this, Yang Chao stepped in and tried to stop them, saying they should talk things out calmly. But to that bald guy, they were clearly just a bunch of kids. Their words carried no weight whatsoever. Faced with such aggression, the blond guy began to panic. He wanted to call his family for backup, but Yang Chao convinced himself that since they had more people, there was nothing to fear. So the group proceeded together to the Emperor VIP room to confront the bald guy's boss. Jiang Shuran was filled with anxiety during the walk. Zhang Yiming, however, remained completely oblivious and confident. "Don't worry about it. Yang Chao's dad has tons of connections. There's nothing to be scared of." Chun Fan honestly couldn't tell if she was just naive or truly stupid. It was baffling how Jiang Shuran could be friends with someone like her. Inside the Emperor VIP room, only 2 figures were present. The first was a middle-aged man, clearly a powerful figure at first glance, and the second was a beautiful, seductive woman sitting on his lap. As the one who organized the dinner and had the most prominent family background, Yang Chao stepped forward to represent the group. "Boss, we're having a big party today, and we'd like to use your Emperor room." The man couldn't help but burst out laughing at the sight of Yang Chao, who looked like a total greenhorn. Then he asked, "Who are you?" "My name is Yang Chao. My father is Yang Yifan of Tiansheng Hotel. Please show my family some respect, boss." Though nervous, Yang Chao tried to leverage his father's reputation to intimidate the man. Unexpectedly, upon hearing Yang Yifan's name, the man laughed even harder. "Oomph, your father would have to offer me a toast and call me Brother Hao if he were here." The moment the name Brother Hao was spoken, Yang Chao and his friends' faces went completely white. The man was actually Zhou Tianhao, the powerful figure who controlled both the underworld and legitimate businesses in Chuzhou. He had immense backing and was known for his ruthlessly cruel methods. To Zhou Tianhao, arrogant rich kids like Yang Chao were nothing more than second- or third-rate princelings in Chuzhou. Yet they dared to act so presumptuously here. His henchmen immediately understood their boss's intentions. Seeing Zhou Tianhao's clear signal, they rushed forward and started beating up the blonde guy from earlier. Sweat poured down Yang Chao's face in sheer terror. It looks like things have escalated beyond reconciliation. Even though the blonde guy probably deserved the beating. But if he didn't intervene for his friend, business between their families might get complicated later. "Brother Hao, we understand we were in the wrong. I'm stepping up to apologize. Can you please not take this any further?" Yang Chao pleaded miserably. "Fine. I've shared a few meals with your father before. I'll give him a pass." Yang Chao finally let out a sigh of relief when he heard Zhou Tianhao's words. But then he added a condition. The 3 girls in their group had to stay behind and drink with him. Only then would he let the others go. Yang Chao pointed at Zhang Yameng and stammered nervously. "Brother Hao, she's my girlfriend. I don't think that's appropriate." Zhou Tianhao immediately slammed the wine glass in his hand against the wall, startling the group of students. "I told you to get lost, so get out. Don't waste my time talking nonsense." At this point, the beautiful woman on Zhou Tianhao's lap stood up, poured a glass of wine, and offered it to Zhang Yameng as a demonstration. "Come on, girls, it's just a drink with Brother Hao. Do you think he's going to eat you alive?" But Zhang Yameng adamantly refused to go and instead cowered behind Yang Chao. Jiang Shiran considered herself a loyal friend. She reasoned that her background wasn't insignificant. Her father was an influential government figure in Chuzhou. Perhaps Zhou Tianhao wouldn't dare do anything drastic to her. With that thought, Jiang Shiran prepared to step forward and endure the humiliation herself, allowing Zhang Yameng and the others to leave safely. To her surprise, before she could say a word, Chun Fan stepped directly in front of her. "Your brother Hao? They're my friends. Let them go for my sake." Jiang Shiran instantly fell into a state of panic. She thought, Chun Fan, what kind of background does he have to demand respect from Zhou Tianhao? He's just going to provoke him even more now. "Oh, what makes you think I give you face?" Zhou Tianhao's reaction was exactly as they predicted. His smile was colder than a blade of ice. "I am someone you simply cannot afford to touch," Chun Fan replied with unwavering determination. Zhou Tianhao burst into hysterical laughter. He felt like he had just heard the funniest joke in the world. No one had ever told him in Chuzhou that there was a person he couldn't touch. Because of Chun Fan's words today, Zhou Tianhao decided he would make sure the boy wouldn't walk out of here alive. Jiang Churan and the others turned pale, genuinely afraid that Chun Fan might actually lose his life. Zhou Tianhao commanded his most capable subordinate, Abu, to step forward. He was the leader among Zhou Tianhao's subordinates, pulled straight from a military prison. Before that, he'd even managed to injure a prison guard in combat. Since leaving prison, Abu had spent 10 years helping Zhou Tianhao seize numerous territories, proving to be invaluable. Seeing Abu, who was nearly twice Chun Fan's size, Su Rongfei frantically yelled for Chun Fan to run and hide. But they couldn't possibly know that to Chun Fan, this man was nothing more than an appetizer. One punch from Abu could easily break through a wooden door. Yet Chun Fan blocked it easily with his bare hands, leaving Abu's fist throbbing in pain. This was the first time he had ever encountered anyone with such ability, so he decided to stop holding back and unleash a more vicious attack. Abu put on 2 pieces of equipment on his hands that looked like large spiked iron knuckles. Getting hit by these would either kill a person or cripple them for life. Chun Fan realized that they had no feud, yet Abu was acting so viciously that Chun Fan decided he wouldn't hold back either. So while Abu lunged forward to attack, Chun Fan delivered a swift counterattack, kicking him squarely in the chest. Chun Fan's kick was powerful, and combined with Abu's momentum from charging forward, the injury was severe. Abu collapsed to the ground, blood spurting from his mouth under Zhou Tianhao's astonished gaze. Very quickly, his remaining subordinates drew their knives and rushed forward together to attack Chen Fan. But even with greater numbers, they couldn't land a single blow on him. Chen Fan moved with incredible speed, his punches carrying immense weight, taking down a dozen thugs in the blink of an eye. Zhang Yumei's group could only stare wide-eyed, feeling that the entire incident was completely surreal, as if Chen Fan were shooting an action movie. Zhou Tianhao, go ahead and tell me now if I can touch you. Chen Fan walked over and casually sat down on the sofa across from Zhou Tianhao. Zhou Tianhao found it fascinating that a high school kid could defeat a dozen of his most capable subordinates. He had run rampant in Chu province for over a decade, but he had never met anyone with abilities like this kid. Furthermore, Zhou Tianhao believed that no matter how skilled Chen Fan was, he couldn't possibly defeat his guns. In this day and age, relying solely on brute force won't scare anyone. Do you believe I can make one phone call right now and have you thrown in jail? Chen Fan saw that his opponent still hadn't learned his lesson and even dared to threaten him back, causing killing intent to rise within him. He then told Yang Xiao to take everyone and leave first, while he stayed behind to deal with Zhou Tianhao at his own pace. Haha, I'd like to see how exactly you plan on playing with me tonight. Zhou Tianhao roared with laughter. Yang Xiao's group didn't wait for him to repeat himself before fleeing out the door. Only Su Rongfei felt uneasy, but she was dragged out by Jiang Churan. Only once he watched both of them leave the room did Chen Fan finally feel relieved. Next, he planned to use magic to end the lives of everyone in this room, including Zhou Tianhao. But just then, Wei Fu's bodyguard, Xiao Qi, called him. Xiao Qi had arrived at the lakeside on time to pick him up and take him to the Wei family mansion, but Chen Fan told him he was caught up in some trouble in New City and couldn't go yet. Xiao Qi grew anxious when he heard this. Having trouble? Can you tell me about it? Please don't keep things from me, sir. While I am just the old master's bodyguard, I can still resolve some issues here in Chu province. It's nothing, just a small conflict between my friends and brother Hao. Chen Fan had no intention of asking for help, so he kept his reply concise. Unexpectedly, as soon as Xiao Qi heard brother Hao, he immediately knew it was Zhou Tianhao and correctly guessed that Chen Fan was currently at the Imperial Karaoke Bar. He quickly got in his car and then told Chen Fan to let Zhou Tianhao know that he would arrive in 10 minutes. Chen Fan hung up and fell into contemplation. Based on Xiao Qi's tone, it seemed like he knew this man named Zhou, and their relationship was far from ordinary. So Chen Fan hesitated, wondering whether he should take action immediately or wait for Xiao Qi to arrive first. But when Zhou Tianhao noticed Chen Fan's expression of hesitation, he mistakenly believed Chen Fan was finally scared. Well, calling for reinforcements, are we? Go on, call everyone you know and have them all come here. Yeah, my friend said he'd be here in 10 minutes. Please wait until then. Zhou Tianhao burst out laughing again. To make him wait 10 minutes in Chu province. Chen Fan was certainly the first person bold enough to try. Surprisingly, he actually agreed to wait, wanting to see if there was anyone in Chu province foolish enough to challenge him. Exactly 10 minutes later, noise erupted from outside. The sound suggested the guards were trying to stop someone, but they were failing. Right on time, Xiao Qi pushed open the door and entered the VIP room. The moment he saw Xiao Qi, Zhou Tianhao shot to his feet. You, why are you here? Xiao Qi completely ignored Zhou Tianhao. First, I have to go see if Chen Fan is hurt. But he's overthinking it. How could these guys possibly hurt Chen Fan? Even 10 times this number wouldn't be a match for him. Next, Xiao Qi shouted at Zhou Tianhao. Who gave you the nerve to lay a hand on the boss's friend? You're saying he's the boss's friend? Zhou Tianhao asked with a trembling voice, unable to process the situation. The boss personally ordered me to drive here and invite Mr. Chen to the party. What? Do you still think I'm lying? When Xiao Qi said this, Zhou Tianhao's expression completely changed. To be personally picked up by Wei Fu's close bodyguard, Chen Fan's identity must be anything but simple. He quickly bowed deeply to apologize to him. Chen Fan didn't realize that a simple bodyguard next to Wei Fu could have such influence. Well, since he wasn't hurt, and out of respect for Zhou Tianhao being Xiao Qi's acquaintance, Chen Fan didn't want to make a bigger deal out of it. Brother Hao, let's just let tonight go. If you're not satisfied, you can come find me anytime. I'll take you on. Chun Fan said, but Zhou Tianhao still didn't dare lift his head, repeatedly muttering, I wouldn't dare. Afterward, Chun Fan followed Xiao Qi out. The car drove to the Jiangbei Military Retirement Hospital. Just as he predicted, Wei Fu's identity wasn't simple. If he didn't have high status, how could he be spending his retirement here? In the private room, he was practicing calligraphy. Today, his health seemed better than yesterday. Wei Fu's granddaughter saw Chun Fan and immediately looked confused. Didn't you say you were here to treat my grandfather? Where are your needles and everything? My method of treatment doesn't require acupuncture at all. First, take a look at this. Chun Fan handed Wei Fu a piece of paper. It wasn't clear what was written inside, but as soon as he finished reading, his eyes widened in surprise. Next, Wei Fu put down the brush in his hand and respectfully bowed deeply before Chun Fan. Sir, I, Wei Fu, will never forget your kindness and generosity, even until my death. It's nothing, Elder Wei. You were injured back then defending our nation. Since fate has brought us together, there's no way I could simply stand by and do nothing. Chun Fan replied politely. Only Wei Fu's granddaughter on the side didn't understand what was happening. She just felt that her grandfather was bowing to Chun Fan without reason, which seemed completely inappropriate. Mr. Chun, could you please explain this to Ziqing? Wei Fu requested. Chun Fan nodded, then slowly began to explain everything to Wei Ziqing. Wei Fu's injury has two main causes. First, after your grandfather insisted on using his internal energy back then, he sustained an injury. He couldn't be treated right away, which led to a chronic injury in his lungs. The second cause is that the cultivation method he practices has flaws, causing the injury to worsen over time. Although each use caused only minor damage, these small damages accumulated into a serious illness. So, my lungs are also damaged? Wei Ziqing was astonished. Technically speaking, yes. But you haven't cultivated enough, so the injury hasn't reached a serious level yet. Wei Fu confirmed that Chun Fan's words were correct. When this cultivation method was passed down in our family, this issue was indeed mentioned. However, in this day and age, just having a cultivation technique is considered extremely fortunate. Who has time to worry about hidden damage? Chun Fan solved this problem by giving Wei Fu a new cultivation manual. In reality, he revised the original Wei family technique, adding a lot of additional knowledge to it. Hearing this, Wei Ziqing was even more astonished. But I remember you never gave him the manual. How could he have revised it? That's why I say martial arts grandmasters are so formidable. He just took one look at you and understood everything completely. Wei Fu replied. Chun Fan cleared his throat a few times, wondering how many times he had to explain that he was a cultivation practitioner, not a martial arts practitioner. Next, he gave Wei Fu a small glass bottle containing 10 small foundation pills. He said that by taking them regularly in conjunction with a new technique, he could completely heal his illness. It's just a pity that the ingredients for the larger foundation pills are difficult to find. Otherwise, not only would it heal Elder Wei's injury, but it could even bring someone back from the dead. Chun Fan was a little regretful. Wei Ziqing rudely snatched the bottle from his hand, acting somewhat impolitely. Bring someone back from the dead? Don't feed me that nonsense. This isn't some ridiculous myth. Believe what you want. Chun Fan shrugged. He wasn't obligated to satisfy this rude little miss anyway. Unlike his granddaughter, Wei Fu trusted Chun Fan implicitly. He even asked Chun Fan to write a list of ingredients so he could help her cure them. Chun Fan had no reason to refuse. After all, elixirs like the Origin Strengthening Pill required refining methods only available in the cultivation world. Mortals would fail 100 times trying to make it. He wrote out a rather lengthy list. Wei Fu was slightly taken aback after looking it over. Indeed, even with the Wei family's resources, procuring these ingredients would be difficult. All right, the treatment is finished. I still wanted to ask you a bit about martial arts. Chun Fan said. I can guess what you want to ask, but please go ahead and speak directly. Chun Fan learned a lot about martial arts when he left that day. According to Wei Fu, martial arts have a long history. Qi refining methods originated from Taoism. Later, martial artists developed them into various internal cultivation methods and techniques. The martial arts world flourished during the late Ming and early Qing dynasties. During that time, masters were numerous and experts were everywhere. With the advent of firearms, martial arts gradually weakened. Now, only a handful of true masters remain in the community. Furthermore, martial artists are categorized into 3 realms: external strength, internal strength, and transformation realm. Most martial artists today only reach the external strength realm. Internal strength practitioners are rare. The transformation realm level is revered as a grandmaster. They possess protective chi, capable of deflecting bullets and fighting against firearms. Apart from Chun Fan, Wei Fu had only met one other person with such abilities in his lifetime. Beyond the transformation realm, there exists an even greater realm. However, no one in modern times has seen it firsthand. It has become mere legend. Moreover, Chun Fan gained significant benefits from healing Elder Wei. His previous life's cultivation experience truly yielded many benefits in this life. Specifically, the key Wei Fu gave Chun Fan was for a luxury villa in Cloud Mist Mountain Manor. A wealthy individual originally gave it to Wei Fu's third son, who later presented it to his father as an act of filial piety. Wei Ziqing understood that Chun Fan deserved gratitude for healing her grandfather, but giving him an entire villa seemed a bit much. You don't understand. This mental cultivation technique is worth far more than that villa. Wei Fu shook his head. Besides, you don't even know the significance of a martial arts grandmaster. A martial arts grandmaster? So what? Can it take on bullets or rockets? Wei Ziqing still stubbornly refused to acknowledge Chun Fan's talent. But Wei Fu constantly insisted that Chun Fan was a top-tier genius. He believed Chun Fan now possessed the capability to stand alongside Yi Nantian in the military, making it imperative for the Wei family to win him over. Yi Nantian was one of the nation's foremost and influential figures. When Wei Ziqing heard her grandfather compare Chun Fan to Yi Nantian, she finally began to believe that Chun Fan's abilities were truly extraordinary. Ziqing drove him back to his neighborhood. Although he held the key to Cloud Mist Mountain Manor, Chun Fan wasn't in a hurry to move in. The apartment Aunt Tang arranged was perfectly adequate for now. As soon as he got out of the car, he received a call from Jiang Churin. "Are you okay?" The person on the other end sounded embarrassed and kept stammering. "I want to take you out for dinner. Zhang Yumeng and Su Rongfei will be there too." "I'm fine. No need for dinner. I'm hanging up now." Chun Fan replied concisely. He hung up without waiting for Jiang Churin to say anything further. This drove young Miss Jiang absolutely furious. However, after today's incident at the karaoke bar, her opinion of Chun Fan had changed completely from their first meeting. Upon returning home, Chun Fan immediately began closed-door cultivation. He cultivated peacefully for 3 full days. Finally, he reached the peak of the early foundation establishment stage, just one step away from the middle foundation establishment stage. As soon as the clock struck 6 in the morning, Chun Fan got up, tidied himself, and went out. He should still follow his mother's advice and go to school properly. The reason he came to Chu Province this time was because Chun Fan's mother wanted him to attend Evergreen International High School. Although a private institution, it was an elite high school with top-tier facilities and teaching staff. Students here were either academically brilliant or exceptionally wealthy. Chun Fan looked for Class 9, Grade 3. The classroom was loud. The students all looked like rich playboys and playgirls. As expected, they were all from wealthy families. Chun Fan walked straight to the back of the classroom and saw a young man dozing off. I thought Chun Fan was looking for someone else, but it turned out he was my new desk mate. He couldn't hide his disappointment. "It's you? I was hoping for some gorgeous girl. Go ahead and sit next to me." Chun Fan had barely sat down when the class bell rang. The homeroom teacher walked in with a stern expression and instructed the new student to stand up and introduce himself. Chun Fan hated these kinds of things, so he reluctantly stood up. "Hello, everyone. My name is Chun Fan." He immediately sat back down. The other new students secretly sized him up. Seeing Chun Fan lacked wealth, power, and had an unremarkable appearance, they concluded he was uninteresting and not worth befriending. Only his desk mate paid him any special attention. The moment Chun Fan sat down, his desk mate's mouth started working at full capacity. "Chun Fan, your introduction was too simple. How are you ever going to attract any girls like that?" "Forget it. My name is Jiang Tanchio. Everyone calls me Night Market Prince. Everyone at the Chuzhou Night Market knows who I am." "I know who you are," Chun Fan replied. Jiang Tanchio assumed his nickname was so popular that even a new transfer student like Chun Fan knew about it. But he didn't realize that they had already known each other in their previous life. Jiang Tanchio wasn't just an ordinary desk mate. He was Chun Fan's best friend. When Chun Fan was at his lowest, Jiang Tanchio was always there for him. Seeing Jiang Tanxio so cheerful and vibrant, who would know that he would later destroy himself over a girl, spending 7 years in prison and ruining his whole life? After being released from prison, Jiang Tanxio swore that if he could live again, he would never let that woman ruin his life. He didn't get to live again, but Chun Fan reincarnated instead. Guiding Jiang Tanxio down the right path was one of Chun Fan's goals for this life. Why aren't you saying anything? Jiang Tanxio chattered endlessly for a while before asking again. Go ahead and talk, I'm listening. Chun Fan replied. He just wanted to quietly watch this talking machine he hadn't seen in 500 years for a little while longer. Encouraged by Chun Fan, Jiang Tanxio started up again at full speed. He talked about everything under the sun, even popularizing information about the most famous beauties in school to Chun Fan. One of them was their class monitor, Changwon, who often hosted school events. Next was Su Rongfei, who was far more outstanding than Changwon. She was already a minor celebrity and model, and even played some supporting roles in TV dramas. Jiang Tanxio even heard gossip that Su Rongfei made enough money in a year to buy a BMW, meaning she had already surpassed 99% of the students nationwide. Seeing Jiang Tanxio's admiring gaze when mentioning Su Rongfei, Chun Fan could only suppress a smile. If he knew this girl almost became my girlfriend in the previous life, I wonder how he would react. I'm just telling you this, so don't go falling for Changwon. She has high standards. If she wouldn't even like me, there's no way she'd like you. Jiang Tanxio waved his hand, boasting. He's just as slick-tongued as he was in his previous life. Gossip Jiang Tanxio then introduced Chun Fan to a male student named Si Yinxia, who was Changwon's dream crush. Unfortunately, he was so focused on studying that he never even looked her way. Si Yinxia was the pride of the homeroom teacher because he had won a prize at the National Mathematics Olympiad. He was a high-achieving student set for Tsinghua or Peking University, and the whole school saw him as their golden boy. He was never punished, even when he came to school late. On top of that, he was the forward on the school basketball team. All the cheerleaders were beauties, and they all liked Si Yinxia and Yang Chao. This made Jiang Tanxio absolutely green with envy. Sigh, but Si Yinxia likes Miss Su, the campus belle. I definitely don't have a chance. Is that so? I don't see anything special about him. Chun Fan replied indifferently. In his past life, Si Yinxia was envied and resented by every male student in the school. Even Chun Fan himself was among them at the time. But in this life, he felt his past self had been incredibly childish. In his eyes now, Si Yinxia wasn't even as important as a fraction of Jiang Tanxio. The first class passed smoothly until the final bell rang. Changwon rushed over to them, giving orders bossily. The basketball team wants to practice during lunch. Jiang Tanxio and Chun Fan, both of you go fetch water for them. She said it, tossed her hair, and left without giving them a chance to refuse. Jiang Tanxio ground his teeth. Damn it. Changwon wants to pursue Si Yinxia, fine, but why does she order us around like her servants? Ultimately, the two of them had to work like servants for free that lunch break. This was Chun Fan's first time experiencing life on a basketball court. It's even crazier than you imagine. All the girls are screaming Si Ningxia's and Yang Chao's names. That Yang Chao is the captain of the basketball team. He's pretty tough. Chun Fan already knows him well. As soon as the bell rang, Changwon dashed over to Si Ningxia to give him water. Then, she glanced at Jiang Tanxio and gave her a look. Why are you guys still standing there? Go hand out water to the team. She's beautiful on the outside, but rotten on the inside. Chun Fan figured he might as well treat it like doing public service. So he grabbed a bottle from the cooler and threw it to Yang Chao. After catching the bottle and saying thanks, Yang Chao realized it was Chun Fan who'd handed it to him. His expression turned slightly pale. He thought to himself, Chun Fan, what's this jerk doing here? Chun Fan replied with a highly provocative smile. A long time no see. Yang Chao, drenched in sweat, forced a smile. Right? It's been a few days. With that, he turned away, pulling Ningxia with him, who was looking confused. Isn't that Jiang Tanxio and the transfer student? Hearing this, Ningxia widened his eyes. You know him? Changwon folded her arms and answered loudly for him. He's Chun Fan, the new student in our class. Totally useless. We could just boss him around. Yang Chao shot her a look after hearing her sneer like that. Chun Fan, looking annoyed, called out the girl's name. Changwon. Back in the classroom, she stood with her hands on her hips, putting on airs as she ordered Chun Fan. The basketball team has a match tonight. You guys help carry the equipment. Chun Fan replied decisively. I'm not going. Chongwen looked disbelieving and asked again, "What did you say?" Chun Fan saw this and exclaimed, "I said I'm not going." Chun Fan thought angrily. "Last time I helped because we were classmates, but you ended up mocking me. You think I didn't hear you?" Chun Fan thought about it, and then said directly, "The school team has a match. The sports committee members should go, not me. What does that have to do with me?" Seeing his resolute attitude, she tried one more time. "Are you really not going?" Chun Fan didn't even bother to answer differently. "I'm not going." Chongwen's thoughts turned contemptuous. "My family is super rich, and I'm a class president. I'm a princess on high. Only Ningxia is worthy of me slightly lowering my standards. You, a mediocre transfer student, dare to refuse me?" She couldn't say that out loud, so she found an excuse to ask, "Does the captain's match really have nothing to do with you?" This time, Chun Fan didn't even bother answering and just pulled out a book to read. Chongwen was so ignored that she could only sputter in frustration. Just then, another arrogant guy walked up and interrogated him. "Hey Chun, you dare disrespect the team?" Jingwu asked, looking at him with judgmental and arrogant eyes. Chun Fan sneered, asking, "You're Jingwu, the sports committee member? Just a substitute on the team?" Seeing Chun Fan dare to speak with such a mocking tone, he clenched his fists and cursed under his breath. Danshio skillfully stepped in to smooth things over. Brother Wu, please let this go. He's just a transfer student. He doesn't understand things. Don't argue with him." Then, Danshio patted Chun Fan on the shoulder. "Isn't it just carrying water? I'll go with you, okay?" Chun Fan looked away, responding indifferently. "If you want to go, go yourself." "I'm not going." Jingwu let out a mocking laugh. "Fine, kid. You've got guts. There was a guy like you before who ended up getting his legs broken. Hope you're still acting tough then." Chun Fan, completely unafraid, grinned and raised a hand in welcome. "Anytime." The surrounding classmates, seeing the commotion at his desk, whispered among themselves, "The basketball team members are all big and strong. Last year, they made it to the top 8 high schools in Jiangnan province. They brought glory to the school. That's why they run wild here. No one dares to mess with them. Didn't Yang Chao lead the team to beat up some guy who provoked him? Jing was part of that too. I can't believe this transfer student has such guts." "Guts? It's called not knowing his place." "Exactly. He should look at himself first. How dare he mess with Jing Wu and the class president?" After a while, the teacher walked in. She strictly addressed the students. "There's a Taekwondo class this afternoon. Enrollment is voluntary. If you want to join, pay for the uniform and tuition now. If not, you may leave." Chun Fan stood up immediately upon hearing this. "Not interesting. I'll head out now." Jing wouldn't let him leave so easily. He blocked his path with his hand and sneered. "Hold on there, buddy. How come you're not joining the Taekwondo class?" Chun Fan glared at him. "Whether I study or not, what's it to you?" Jing Wu adopted a provocative tone. "You don't want to pay the tuition, right? Why didn't you say so sooner? I'll pay for you. If you don't participate in school activities, don't blame me for telling the teacher. It'll affect your academic evaluation." Hearing this, Chun Fan suddenly changed his mind. "Fine, I'll go." They moved to the training location. The Taekwondo gym at Evergreen School was extremely impressive, almost as large as the basketball court. This Taekwondo class was large. Not only were all 9 classes of the 12th grade studying together, but some 11th grade classes were there as well. Danshio looked very excited and chattered on. "Our school's Taekwondo program is famous. The instructor once took 2nd place in a national competition. He's incredibly strong. Jing Wu dragging you in a Taekwondo class probably means he wants to make trouble for you during class. Just ignore him." Chun Fan smiled lightly at his friend's warning. "Thanks." When class began, the instructor walked in. Everyone bowed in unison. He had a strict expression and a commanding voice. "Everyone warm up first. Then, we'll pair up for sparring. Ningxia, you come up to supervise." Ningxia stepped forward and bowed to everyone according to martial arts etiquette. As soon as he stepped up, Danshio turned to explain. "Ningxia hold a red belt. That's just below black belt. It represents high offense and danger. You can't reach that level without years of hard training." The instructor chose the first pair for sparring. Jingwu, partner up with Ningxia. As soon as the instructor finished speaking, he directly attacked his opponent with a knee strike. The girls watching from the side craned their necks and giggled with delight. After the light-hearted warm-up match, the instructor clapped his hands and instructed, "Now pair up as before. Let's practice together." Suddenly, he hadn't returned to his spot yet when he announced, "Teacher, Before we spar in pairs, I want to challenge someone. Jingyu looks down from above and challenges. Hey Chun, weren't you talking big this afternoon? If you have the guts, come up here and fight me one-on-one. The other students start buzzing. Why is Jingyu challenging a white belt? He's a blue belt fighting a white belt. It's an obvious win, right? Did that transfer student provoke Jingyu? The teacher seriously suggests, do you really want to challenge this white belt student? Because of the difference in skill between you two, you have the right to decline. He arrogantly ignores the teacher, continually addressing Chun Fan. Hey you were so cocky at noon. Why are you scared to come up now? Annoyed by the continuous provocations, Chun Fan stands up and walks forward. I don't know Taekwondo. Jingyu wags his finger, face full of disdain. Use whatever you want. I can beat you with anything. Ningxia looks on anxiously, biting her lip. Chun Fan emphasizes again. So you're sure you want to fight me? Jingyu maintains his mocking smirk. Scared now? If you're scared, stop talking so tough later. Zhangshangqing isn't a place where a country bumpkin like you can run wild. Chun Fan, equally sharp-tongued, fires back directly. I'm afraid you won't be able to beat me. Jingyu immediately falls for the psychological provocation, getting furious. I can't beat you? This guy says I can't beat him. Don't you think that's hilarious? After scoffing, he wags his finger again. Come on, let me show you how to just a little brother like you. Next, Jingyu shows off by leaping up. He spins around back and forth, acting skilled and sophisticated. After just a few basic moves, he gets cocky. Do you understand the difference between you and me now? Chun Fan bluntly comments, just flailing around. Jingyu's expression tightens in fury upon hearing this. Ningxia looks at his fierce expression, even more worried than before. The friends below cheer loudly. Go get him. Teach him a lesson. You're dead, man. Of course, he doesn't stay still for 3 seconds, charging forward. You want to die? Jingyu starts with a straight kick. Chun Fan enthusiastically dodges. He continues attacking in a fit of rage. Chun Fan maintains a bored, indifferent expression. To counter Jingyu, Chun Fan executes his move. A long leg reaches straight up high. His foot extends precisely according to martial arts standards. Jingyu is completely taken by surprise, staring wide-eyed. Chun Fan changes expression, focusing intently on his opponent. The previously loud-mouthed Jingyu now retreats, covering his face with both hands, looking cowardly. In the final second, Chun Fan finishes cleanly with a kick straight down onto Jingyu's head. Tan Xiu stares with wide eyes, as if in disbelief. He won. Those guys are changing sides so fast. Jingyu is too weak. He couldn't even handle that guy. It seems this transfer student wasn't just bragging. He really has strength. Chongwen looks at Chun Fan differently now, more cautiously. That Jingyu guy was bragging to me. In the end, he couldn't even withstand one kick from that guy. What a disgraceful piece of trash. Seeing him lying flat on the ground, Ningxia approaches to check on him. Are you okay? He then asks Chun Fan angrily. We're all classmates. Why did you hit him so hard? Chun Fan replies without hesitation, ignoring the fact that he provoked me first. Just look at his kicks. What do you think would have happened if I hadn't dodged? Ningxia grits her teeth in frustration. If you're really that strong, then how about I challenge you? Chongwen immediately looks worried when she hears this. She walks over and shouts loudly, trying to stop him. Ningxia, he ignores her. He already assumes a fighting stance and thinks. Chun Fan's kick was extraordinary. Both its speed and power are clearly not from an average person. But I've studied Taekwondo since childhood, training hard for over 10 years. There's no way I can't beat Chun Fan. Chun Fan kindly warns him first. You still want to fight me? You should know, if we fight for real, I won't hold back. The classmates continue to flip-flop. Chun Fan's kick wasn't that impressive. It was just a little fast and a little strong, that's all. Our Ningxia is praised even by black belt masters. That's right. Who knows who will be the one unable to hold back later. Empty vessels make the most noise. Ningxia is the best. The teacher, who had been observing, finally speaks up. You're all students. Fighting is fine, but you have to know when to stop. But in his mind, he already feels favorably towards Chun Fan, standing there smiling to himself, just flailing around. It seems I should teach my gifted student here a lesson. He is now very eager to make his move. Chun Fan calmly says, go ahead. Ningxia attacks continuously at Chun Fan's composed demeanor. His movements are quicker and more skilled than Jingyu's before. Ningxia executes a beautiful-looking axe kick from above. Chun Fan quickly reminds himself, Ningxia isn't simple. Aside from experience, he's not much different from that guy Bill. The girls, seeing a handsome boy, stare with wide eyes and scream, Ningxia, amazing. The teacher squints, watching with interest. This is the skill level of a 4th-degree black belt. With just this kick, Ningxia could easily overwhelm him. Chun Fan is cautious, but not overly tense. He can still smile. As the kick approaches his face, Chun Fan lightly raises his hand to block it. Ningxia gets flustered, but tries to stay calm. How can this be? How can he be so strong? But his tough spirit doesn't help. Chun Fan merely pushes lightly, making Ningxia stumble. Ningxia glares at him. Come again. He lifted his heels repeatedly and lightly, then fanned his legs up and down with astonishing speed. His spinning kicks approached Chun Fan like spinning blades, but Chun Fan dodged them without any effort. Ningxia started to run out of steam and drew his leg back. Chun Fan chuckled lightly. You've thrown enough kicks. Now let's see how you handle my punch. As he spoke, he leaned back slightly, clenching one fist at his waist while keeping the other arm slightly bent. The instructor recognized something in his posture and urgently shouted, Be careful. Chun Fan had no intention of holding back. His eyes flashed intensely. Ningxia seemed to realize he couldn't evade it and quickly crossed his arms in defense. But he was a fraction too slow to counter the punch Chun Fan unleashed. The punch felt imbued with an extraordinary force, leaving Ningxia astonished and terrified simultaneously. Not only that, Chun Fan's profound internal energy sent Ningxia hurtling backward. He landed hard on his back, writhing in pain. Everyone present fell silent, stunned by the sight. Chongwen anxiously rushed over, kneeling beside the defeated Ningxia, and called out, Ningxia, Ningxia. He calmly reassured her, Don't worry, he's fine. He just ran out of energy temporarily. She didn't seem scared at all, instead shooting him a sharp glare. Now victorious, Chun Fan's tone became more arrogant. Anyone else want to try? If not, then we're done here. He wasn't in a hurry to leave, gesticulating while pointing at Ningxia. Unless you find a truly famous master to teach you. And learn some real skills, otherwise, even after 10 years of training, you won't be able to match me. With that, Chun Fan put his hands behind his back and strode away. He passed by Tan Xiao, who was still dazed, and nudged his shoulder. Coming to lunch? Tan Xiao stared back, mouth agape just now. I didn't realize he was that strong. But being his friend, Tan Xiao was thrilled and yelled excitedly, Let's go. He secretly glanced at Chun Fan, smiling proudly to himself. No wonder he didn't even take Ningxia seriously. When it comes to fighting, 10 Ningxias combined couldn't withstand a single blow from him. Chun Fan, this transfer student, is absolutely extraordinary. The two then quietly left the gymnasium. Over the next few days, Chun Fan's reputation skyrocketed after that impressive display. Everyone gleefully chanted his name. The girls in particular crowded around him, sighing, Chun Fan? Oh, Chun Fan. The boys tried to comfort Ningxia. It was just a taekwondo class loss. Ningxia, in athletics, academics, piano, and looks, you absolutely dominate Chun Fan. You're still okay, right? But he remained gloomy, ignoring the calls of Ningxia. Cheer up, Ningxia. While he was lost in thought, someone tapped him on the shoulder. It was Yang Chao, who grinned at Ningxia. You've been distracted these past few days. What's up? Ningxia replied with a gentle smile. I'm fine. But a gossipy student blabbed everything to him. It's all because of that new transfer student. He beat Senior C in Taekwondo class. Now he just walks around class like he owns the place. Chongwen added fuel to the fire. He's just some punk who knows how to fight. When it comes to academics, background, or looks, how does he compare to Ningxia? Ningxia, filled with reluctant envy, conceded, Chun Fan really is much stronger than me. But I refuse to believe I'll lose to him in everything else. Chongwen continued to encourage him. Exactly. How could you possibly lose to him? Chongwen excitedly suggested, Tomorrow is the new student welcome party. You should make a grand entrance, perform a special number, and show that guy what real talent looks like. The next morning, Yang Chao felt a bit uneasy watching Ningxia prepare for revenge. Chun Fan is the guy who broke senior brother Chuzhou Tiana's wrist, remember? Maybe I shouldn't say anything more. No need to discourage him now. Meanwhile, Tan Xiao and Chun Fan were walking together. Tan Xiao excitedly informed him, Tomorrow night is the new student welcome party. Rong Fei is definitely going to be there. Chun Fan looked confused. New student welcome party? Tan Xiao responded. because the 10th graders had military training for half a month, so they postponed the party. Jingyu walked past them at that moment and threw a taunt over his shoulder. You still have feelings for Rongfei? She's already senior C's girl. Tan Xiu looked heartbroken, while Chun Fan immediately questioned. Wait, I heard she only sees Ning Xia as a normal friend. Jingyu retorted with satisfaction. Even if that's true, it's certainly not your turn. Chun Fan confidently replied, You're not so sure about that. Tan Xiu got furious, pointing and yelling, Exactly. Who says it's impossible? You got knocked out by my bro Fan's kick that day. You want another round? Jingyu, having been hit where it hurt, clicked his tongue in annoyance and walked away. That evening, at the auditorium stage for the welcome party. In the audience, Tan Xiu sat next to Chun Fan, excitedly chattering. Hurry up, my goddess is about to come on. Changlin was the MC for the party. She wore an elegant dress and spoke with smooth professionalism. Next, please welcome Rong Fei from Class 11, who will perform Swan Princess for us all. The entire audience erupted in enthusiastic applause. The auditorium lights dimmed, leaving only a spotlight on the stage. The spotlight shone on Ning Xia at the piano. The audience began to whisper, It's Ning Xia again. He always plays when Rong Fei dances. She gracefully glided across the stage on her tiptoes. Wherever she moved, the spotlight followed. Rong Fei's fluid movements and sophisticated presence were both elegant and captivating. From movements like turning on her foot, rising on her toes, her graceful backward lean was so elegant. With Ning Xia on the piano and Rong Fei dancing, they delivered a truly professional performance. Their hard work was met with thunderous applause and cheers from the crowd below. As the performance ended, he gallantly offered his hand to help her off the stage. Together, they bowed deeply to everyone. The excited crowd cheered even louder, shouting, Get together! Get together! Hearing that, they both looked flustered and quickly let go of each other. From below, Tan Xiu watched with stars in his eyes. Goddess, her presence is on par with a professional ballerina. That guy Ning Xia is taking advantage of this to get close to my goddess. Chun Fan wasn't particularly interested, so he stood up. It's over, let's head out. He was secretly satisfied, though, thinking to himself, I'm glad I got to see Rong Fei perform again. I'm satisfied now. Just then, Tan Xiu exclaimed, Look, Rong Fei is heading right for us. Chun Fan lingered to see what was happening. Ning Xia was still walking with her, greeting everyone on the way. He immediately felt a pang of jealousy. That damned Ning Xia. Did that pretty boy actually manage to win her over? Chun Fan didn't want to watch anymore, so he said, I'm heading out first. As soon as he turned to leave, something else stopped him, a cheerful voice calling out. Why are you leaving so early, Master Chun? Aren't you going to greet tonight's main attractions? He turned around to see Chong-won, and he looking at him with disdain. Rong Fei, however, greeted him enthusiastically, Brother Chun Fan. The moment she saw him, she ran straight over, ignoring everyone else and calling out sweetly, Brother Chun Fan. Seeing Rong Fei approach, he spread his arms wide and smiled brightly. Right there, in front of everyone, they hugged. Rong Fei immediately regretted being so bold. Her face turned bright red with embarrassment. She covered her eyes and quickly explained, I saw you were okay and safe, so I got a little carried away. Chun Fan smiled gently and replied, Thank you. Still flustered, Rong Fei didn't dare stay long. I have to go now. He called after her bye-bye. The whole scene created a huge stir among the spectators. Rong Fei hugged Chun Fan, that plane transfer student. Ning Xia seethed. He's not playing. He beat Yin Xia in one strike. That despicable punk. He felt like he'd been completely outmaneuvered, gritting his teeth and glaring furiously. The next day, Chun Fan arrived at class as usual. The moment he walked in, all eyes turned to him. They had assumed he was just a country bumpkin, but now they knew he wasn't only powerful, but also bold enough to receive a hug from the school goddess. Tan Xiu wrapped his arms around him excitedly. Chun Fan, my brother, I truly didn't see that coming. Chun Fan hastily denied it. If I told you I have absolutely no relationship with Rong Fei, would you believe me? Tan Xiu instantly scowled and replied, Of course I wouldn't believe you. He had been frowning a second ago, and now he was overjoyed. You really hurt Ning Xia last night. It was too much. Ning Xia's face was totally green. He stood there for 10 minutes and wouldn't move. Chun Fan gave a wry smile. It was a misunderstanding. Later, he stood in the hallway looking out the window, thinking, why don't I feel anything for Rong Fei? Yet she still waits for me. While standing there, Chun Fan accidentally overheard some gossip. Rong Fei and the new transfer student are dating, and they even hugged in front of everybody. Yishun was confused, thinking Rong Fei doesn't even like Ming Hui or Ing Xia, so why would she like that plain new transfer student? A classmate walked up and called, "President." He offered a polite smile. "If you need something, go ahead." The classmate replied respectfully, "Yes, President, take care." Yishun stood alone in the empty hallway. He pondered deeply. Should I tell Ming Hui that defense student sent for special military training? After all, he's not just the son of the military commander, but also Rong Fei's top suitor. Half a month later, Chun Fan was sitting in his training room one evening. He closed his eyes tightly, focusing intently. I finally feel a sign of breakthrough after hitting this bottleneck since the first day of school. Looks like I can break through to the middle stage of foundation establishment tonight. With that thought, he poured all his energy into cultivation. Chun Fan muttered to himself, "If my cultivation reaches a high enough level, I can refine the air and absorb it as energy." Normally, foundation establishment cultivators can't absorb the essence of heaven and earth, but the void body refinement art is simply too powerful. Fortunately, I still have a few small foundation pills remaining. He quickly took 3 pills simultaneously. His body immediately filled with power. Chun Fan clearly felt the surge flowing through his meridians and was overjoyed. This is the feeling. Just then, a black patch appeared on his body. He let out a sigh of relief. I finally reached the middle stage of foundation establishment. After shedding his cumbersome clothes, Chun Fan was done. He thought to himself, the next step is figuring out how to make money for more pills. Just then his phone rang. He glanced over. Someone's calling. He picked up. Unknown number. Who is it? Hello. The moment the person on the other end spoke, Chun Fan immediately said the name, Tian Hao. Tian Hao chuckled on the other end. Young Master Chun, I'd like to invite you to lunch tomorrow. You absolutely must come. Chun Fan thought to himself, I might as well use this opportunity to discuss ways to make money with him. He then replied, the next day at the restaurant. As he entered, Tian Hao and Ah Biao took turns greeting him. Master Chun, you're here. Chun Fan sat down, chuckling teasingly. Who beat you up? The kick I gave you last time only gave you internal injuries. Looks like you didn't just invite me for dinner. You need something, don't you? Tian Hao confessed. I've actually run into a small problem. We're basically family, so I won't hide anything from you. A few years back, I had a rival who fled overseas. Now he's returned, messing with my territory. He wants me dead. Chun Fan laughed it off. Gangs fighting each other? I'm not a cop. Tian Hao raised his voice, stressing the point, it's not a territory dispute. That guy learned some kind of powerful martial arts from somewhere. He's just beating people up, not taking money. He definitely wants to kill me. The police can't do anything about this. Let's get straight to the point. How does his skill compare to mine? He immediately frowned, tense. It's terrifying. He's a master like I've never seen before. He might even be stronger than you. The description immediately made 4 words flash through Chun Fan's mind. Internal cultivation master. Tian Hao continued, gesturing expansively. He wants to meet me on the small island in the middle of the lake tonight. If you help me, I'll give you this. Chun Fan, liking the direct approach, asked 100,000. Tian Hao stressed the large sum. It's 1 million. The rest is compensation for the trouble I caused you, Mr. Chun. Chun Fan suddenly became much more interested. Even though Tian Hao hadn't offered any upfront payment, Chun Fan really wanted to see this internal cultivation master for himself. So, he gave a decisive answer. I can do it. As they talked, Tian Hao suddenly stood up, looking deferential. Master Gua, you finally arrived. He quickly walked over to greet the new guest. Chun Fan watched him rush over and pursed his lips. As expected, he had a backup plan. Tian Hao cheerfully introduced his guest. Mr. Chun, this is Guo Wei, Master Guo from the Weisheng Martial Arts School. He's the #1 expert in our Chuzhou martial arts world. Guo Wei's voice was firm and serious, matching his reputation. You're hiring a kid who still smells of milk for this job? Tian Hao bowed his head, sweating. He replied softly, Master Guo, our friend Mr. Chun is actually very capable. Guo Wei continued, your opponent is exceptionally strong. An ordinary person simply can't handle him. Tian Hao asked anxiously, how strong exactly? He sat down for a moment and picked up the teacup. He slowly opened the teacup lid. Then he began to ask, I wonder, Brother Hao, if you've ever heard of an internal cultivation master? Abu heard the strange 4 words and asked in surprise. Internal cultivation master? Guo Wei calmly explained. If he wasn't practicing internal cultivation, how could he break your hand with a single palm strike? That kind of strength surpasses normal human limits. Tian Hao caught up to the topic. When I was learning martial arts, I did hear about it. In modern society, only about 1 in 10,000 people actually develop internal force. Guo Wei laughed, wrinkles crinkling around his eyes. Someone like that can kill you before you even manage to pull out a gun. Tian Hao still seemed unconvinced. Is it really that exaggerated, Master Guo? He chuckled with satisfaction and slammed his hand hard onto the table. Brother Hao, just watch. Immediately, the surface of the table under Guo Wei's hand dented completely. Tian Hao stared, dumbfounded. This is internal cultivation? Abu was horrified, mouth agape. If that hit a person, wouldn't it crush them? Chun Fan, however, was completely unimpressed by the spectacle. Boring. It's not even as strong as the palm strike I used on the willow tree after reaching foundation building. Tian Hao, now confident, announced triumphantly, with Master Guo here, let's see if that guy still dares to cause trouble. Lin Bao fought for territory with me years ago, and I beat him so badly he ran away. I never expected him to learn martial arts and return now. Master Guo, here's the deposit. I'll give you the rest after we finish. I'll also introduce you to Third Master Wei. Guo Wei was overjoyed. He pretended to laugh, casually. Brother Hao, you're too generous. Chun Fan remained seated, watching him with a somewhat enigmatic look. They left the restaurant shortly after. Guo Wei turned back and deliberately addressed Chun Fan, saying, Chun Fan, no matter how strong you think you are, you won't be able to withstand a single palm strike from an internal cultivation master. Tian Hao, wanting to keep the peace, tried to intervene. Mr. Chun, this matter? But Chun Fan spoke up for himself. I have an obligation to protect him now. What internal cultivation master? It's all just hype. Guo Wei heard this and said coldly, young people truly don't know their limits. If you want to die, be my guest. They stopped in an area far removed from the city. As they approached the building in front of them, a person stepped out to greet them, waving. Brother Hao. Chun Fan praised him internally as they walked. This Tian Hao guy actually has some brains. He even arranged extra bodyguards outside. Once inside, Tian Hao politely invited Guo Wei. Master Guo, please rest up a bit. Conserve your strength. But suddenly, Guo Wei frowned and murmured, he's here. He was right. All the bodyguards outside had been taken down. Tian Hao was completely panicked. He's here already? I had over a dozen men outside. How could he possibly be that fast? Just then, they heard heavy footsteps approaching. Tian Hao exclaimed, damn it. I totally underestimated Lin Bao's strength. Chun Fan narrowed his eyes at his new acquaintance. He's finally here. Standing before them was a red-haired man with a mocking grin and flashy clothes, taunting them. What's wrong, Brother Hao? Aren't you happy to see an old friend? Lin Bao continued, the wounds and scars you gave me all those years ago are still here. I never once forgot about them. I've dedicated myself to martial arts these past few years all for this very day. Tian Hao, not backing down, retorted, don't think just because you've learned internal cultivation, you can do whatever you want. Lin Bao scoffed. You know about internal cultivation? Then why aren't you kneeling to surrender right now? Guo Wei stepped forward to intimidate him. I am Guo Wei, the master of Weisheng Martial Arts School, a practitioner of Xingyi Fist. Who exactly is your master? Lin Bao scoffed. Cut the crap. My master is overseas. Come and face your death. Guo Yi slightly crouched, entering a battle stance. You are far too arrogant. The next second, he unleashed a flurry of kicks, flying up and down with dizzying speed. His movements were faster than lightning. One moment, he was on the left, the next he was on the right. Tian Hao watched in terror. This is an internal cultivator. It's too terrifying. Master Guo must win. Otherwise, I might not live to see tomorrow's sun. Lin Bao and Guo Yi separated, temporarily disengaging. But he seemed to be at a disadvantage. It took him a long moment to regain his footing. Guo Yi thought to himself, I didn't expect you to have reached the great accomplishment of internal cultivation. I underestimated you. Lin Bao looked up arrogantly. How can a frog in a well know the vastness of the world? I was fortunate enough to apprentice under a martial Dao grandmaster. I worked as a mercenary overseas, constantly facing life and death, which allowed me to quickly reach the level of great accomplishment in internal cultivation. Guo Yi's face tensed, his eyebrows knitted together. So you trained under a grandmaster. No wonder. My loss isn't unjust. Tian Hao, completely terrified, pleaded servilely, "Brother Lin, you've returned successful after training in martial arts. Now's the time to show your power. How about we split the assets here equally?" Lin Bao walked straight towards him. "Do you really think I care about your petty assets?" Seeing Tian Hao about to be threatened, Abu immediately stepped in. "Don't come any closer." But unexpectedly, Lin Bao's single blow sent him crashing into the wall. He reached out and stroked Tian Hao's cheek. "My assets overseas are just as plentiful, if not more, than yours, Tian Hao. You're just a frog in a well." Panicked, he tried every angle to convince him. If you kill me, Third Master Wei won't let you get away with it." Lin Bao chuckled mockingly. "If he could go overseas and capture me, then wouldn't you, Tian Hao, have conquered the world already?" He knelt down and grabbed Lin Bao's leg, wailing, "Yes, yes. Please spare my life, sir." He also felt humiliated, but not to Tian Hao's extent. He thought, "Today I truly lost. A miss by an inch is as good as a mile." Lin Bao let out a cackle upon seeing his opponent like this. Suddenly, a familiar voice spoke up. "Tian Hao, if you give me 10 million, I'll save you." He immediately changed his expression, glaring at the speaker. Chun Fan repeated his request. "Tian Hao, as long as you agree, I'll deal with this Scarface." Lin Bao asked curiously, "Who are you? You have some nerve." The young man, who had been admiring the view, slowly turned to look at him. He replied, "You are merely at the great accomplishment of internal cultivation. Only your master might be worthy of exchanging a few blows with me." Lin Bao became furious upon hearing this. "Insult my master? You're asking for death. I'll twist your head off and feed it to the fish in Yingui Lake." The veins bulged on his face, showing his anger had reached its peak. Abu was terrified for him. Chun Fan is completely insane. He also looked shocked for him. He's finished. But Chun Fan showed no fear at all, confidently provoking him. "Is that right?" He waved his hand, and a flash of yellow light appeared. Chun Fan declared simply but powerfully, "I have a sword that can strike down anyone under heaven." Instantly, a sword appeared in his hand. Though thin, it emitted a flash of light as he swept it through the air. His opponent, Lin Bao, recognized it. External release of internal cultivation. A martial Dao Grandmaster in Huaxia, an expert of this level, actually exists. Before Chun Fan could even act, Lin Bao turned and fled. This is a Transformation Realm Grandmaster, the pinnacle of martial arts. Tenami wouldn't be enough to fight him. Plus, he's so young. I must report this to my master. Once Chun Fan grabbed hold, he wouldn't let go. He threatened nonchalantly. "Trying to run now? Don't you know it's too late?" Lin Bao panicked as he saw Chun Fan's fiery energy behind him. "I'm finished. Run." But Chun Fan was determined not to let him go. The fire energy erupted, quickly spreading throughout the space. In an instant, Lin Bao was struck by a devastating blow. His eyes rolled back in his head. His whole body staggered, on the verge of collapsing. He pursed his lips and felt utterly subdued. External release. Killing with spiritual energy. Truly a grandmaster. He looked barely 16 or 17, still just a high school kid. Yet he was a Transformation Realm Grandmaster, at the very pinnacle of martial arts. Tian Hao, still sprawling on the ground, finally lifted his head and mumbled. He won. Seeing the tables turn, he let out an excited cackle. Next, Tian Hao approached Lin Bao and began to gloat. "Humph, I could drive you out back then, and today I can still beat you to death." Seeing his smug confidence, Chun Fan reminded him, "Lin Bao is just unconscious. Be careful not to step on him." Tian Hao turned to question him. "Grandmaster Chun, you didn't kill him?" Chun Fan responded logically. "He is, after all, a great accomplishment internal cultivator. How could my spiritual energy possibly kill him? At most, it would only knock him out." He said, then crouched down to check. "All right, I've destroyed his chi hai. He's yours." Tian Hao rubbed his hands together excitedly. "Grandmaster Chen's methods are truly impressive. I am completely convinced." He also asked curiously, "Grandmaster Chun, does destroying the chi hai prevent someone from using internal cultivation?" Chun Fan replied modestly, "I used a secret method to seal several of his acupuncture points, causing his internal cultivation energy to disperse, making it impossible for him to gather it again." He continued for Chun Fan, "It's like point striking in TV dramas. Truly a grandmaster." Chun Fan wasn't interested in any more small talk. He held out his hand, asking for his fee, 10 million. Ha, don't worry, sir. Double that, 20 million. I'll transfer it to you as soon as I get back. It's well worth the price. Lin Bao had regained consciousness. Despite being bound, he still held his head high. Fine, I concede today. But if you kill me, my master will certainly avenge me. You're really selling him short. What a coincidence. I haven't had the chance to meet a true grandmaster yet. I hope he doesn't disappoint me. Abu excitedly commented. Now that's the caliber of a true master. On the boat, sailing smoothly across the sea, Chun Fan clutched his chest, looking exhausted. Still, he found the experience intriguing. That single move had drained nearly a third of his true energy. He'd done it intentionally, not just to scare the arrogance out of that fool. His hand instinctively reached out, feeling for something. The long night passed. The next day, Chun Fan sat cross-legged, concentrating on regenerating the energy he'd expended. I need to find a way to quickly improve my strength. Just then, his phone rang. Looking at the screen, Chun Fan wondered, Ziqing? What does she need? He answered, Hello, an auction? Ziqing sat casually with her legs crossed on a chair. The auction is actually more of a buffet banquet. The main purpose is for people to mingle and expand their social networks. Most of the antiques being auctioned have mystical properties. Right next to her was a row of crystal glasses shimmering in the silver light. Outside, the scenery was quiet. Ziqing continued enthusiastically. Plus, I heard they're auctioning a mysterious artifact. Mr. Chun, I'm sure you'd be interested. Chun Fan echoed her words. An artifact? A real one, like I'm thinking? She immediately replied, That's right. Apparently, this artifact has mysterious uses, like stabilizing a residence and warding off evil spirits and bad fortune. I am interested. So, I'll come help you tonight. He declined. You don't need to. If Ziqing and her fancy car show up, I'll be the center of attention again. After a moment, Chun Fan asked, Just tell me the address. I'll go by myself. The person on the other end replied, Just tell them my name when you arrive. At the same time, Chang Yun invited Ning Xia. Let's go unwind at the auction. Jing Yu excitedly added, I managed to get tickets for the party tonight. She continued, This is a high-end party hosted by Fong Sheng International, the most powerful company in Chuzhou. He chimed in with Chang Yun, Exactly. And I heard they're auctioning off some incredibly mysterious antiques. Ning Xia, worn down by her friend's enthusiasm, finally relented. All right, fine. Chin Fan was still thinking about their conversation. He muttered to himself, An auction? Sounds interesting. The short day quickly passed, and night fell. On the day of the auction, Chan Fan stepped into the banquet hall and exclaimed, Wow, seems like there are plenty of wealthy people in Chuzhou. He approached the staff. Ziqing told me I just needed to say her name to get in. The staff member pointed toward the entrance. I have received notification. You are a friend of Miss Wei. As soon as Chun Fan stepped inside, he instantly became the center of attention. The crowd whispered, Who is that guy? I don't know. That attire is completely inappropriate. I don't know which powerful family he's from, but let's not offend him. He scanned the room and muttered, The auction hasn't started yet. Ziqing doesn't seem to be here either. Chun Fan then headed straight for the food tables. He reminded himself, I'm still just a mortal right now. I need to eat. While it's still relatively empty, let's see what they have here. Before he could even pick up a piece, someone called out from behind him, Chun Fan. He turned his head and immediately exclaimed in surprise, You're here? What are you doing here? Rong Fei smiled and answered, Meng Meng and I came together. We heard this auction has a lot of mysterious items, so we came to take a look. Who did you come with, Chun Fan? Are you planning to participate in the auction? Their cheerful conversation was abruptly cut short when someone interrupted. With the paltry amount of money he has. Sui Ran approached, frowning with disdain. Forget about participating in the auction. I doubt he can even afford the small stuff. Chun Fan wasn't bothered about saving face and readily admitted, That's right, I really don't have the money to bid on anything. I just came here to mooch off the food. Actually, the food here is pretty good. The desserts are delicious. You should try some. Rong Fei giggled at everything Chun Fan said, playing along. Oh, really? Sui Ran, standing nearby, was clearly annoyed, letting out a cold scoff. Surrounded by two beautiful girls, the crowd started whispering again. Who exactly is that guy? I don't know him. He's definitely not part of our crowd. They look so close. Could he be Rong Fei's boyfriend? The whispering continued. He's a student at Qing Tang High School from Sishui County. I heard he's a good fighter. Seriously? How could Rong Fei possibly be interested in him? Someone from outside our circle actually has the guts to try and pick up girls here? At that moment, a conversation was also taking place outside in the parking lot. Rong Fei will definitely be here tonight. Don't worry, Brother Chu. I'm certain, Ming Hui replied succinctly. Inside, the space was decorated lavishly and tastefully. Ishan was walking with a few friends. One of them snickered. If Ming Hui were here, he'd definitely teach that guy a lesson. Another friend maliciously added, exactly. Ming Hui once had someone beat up a guy for flirting with Rong Fei, and the guy couldn't get out of bed for 3 months. As the three of them were talking, someone suddenly exclaimed, "Look, guys, isn't that Ming Hui?" He stepped calmly into the banquet hall, dressed in a simple suit. Ishan's face lit up with anticipation. Looks like we're about to see some drama. Deng Fei and Chun Fan were deep in conversation. And here comes Ming Hui, walking straight toward them. He said, "Fei Fei, come here with me. I need to talk to you about something." She responded hesitantly, "What is it? Can't you tell me here?" Ming Hui snapped, ordering everyone get lost. "Fei Fei, and I need to talk in private." Suo Ran was visibly annoyed by his high-handed attitude, letting out a small sigh. Chun Fan, never want to let things slide, spoke up. "And why should we do that?" He frowned at Chun Fan. "Who the hell are you?" But as soon as he asked, he suddenly froze. Sensing Ming Hui's stare, Chun Fan smirked. "It's me." Ming Hui's face twisted slightly. "What's wrong? I've heard about you. Pretty good fighter, huh? Even Ning Ha couldn't beat you. But you should know, Ning Ha's taekwondo is just for show. It's nothing more than pretty footwork." Chun Fan chuckled, nodding in agreement. "You're right about that." Ming Hui pressed on. "Fei Fei, come here for a second. I really need to talk to you." Deng Fei hesitated. He reached out to grab her hand and pull her away. But Deng Fei quickly pulled her hand away. She hid behind Chun Fan, as if frightened. "Ming Hui, what are you doing?" Chun Fan, sensing Deng Fei's distress, said coolly, "You're not welcome here. Please leave." Ming Hui's face contorted with fury. Instead of leaving, Ming Hui swung his hand, ready to strike Chun Fan. Chun Fan didn't even flinch. He repeated patiently, "Get lost." Still oblivious to Chun Fan's strength, Ming Hui threatened, "Listen up, do you really want to cross me?" Chun Fan ground his teeth. "So what?" Ming Hui began boasting. "Do you know who I am? I started military training when I was 12 and was sent to military school at 16. I've handled more guns than you've probably ever seen. I even sparred with Special Forces soldiers one-on-one." Chun Fan wasn't impressed in the slightest. He stared Ming Hui down and asked, "So what? Are you going to make a move?" Tinyu, playing informant, ran excitedly over to Chong Won and Ning Ha. "Brother C, guess who I just saw?" Chong Won replied reflexively. "Who? Don't tell me it's Chun Fan." Tinyu immediately confirmed, "Exactly. I saw Ming Hui go straight for him. They're already fighting, and Deng Fei is right there with them." Ning Ha scoffed loudly. "Seriously? That guy actually managed to sneak in here? Now that he's run into Ming Hui, he's definitely going to be humiliated." Ning Ha immediately pulled the other three along. "Come on, let's go see." Tinyu thought to himself, "Chun Fan, maybe this time you'll finally get what you deserve and I can get revenge." Guests at the party started noticing the disturbance. "Isn't that Ming Hui? What's he doing here? That guy actually wants to go head-to-head with Ming Hui. Look at Ming Hui's face. He looks like he wants to kill Chun Fan." Suo Ran couldn't keep quiet any longer. "Ming Hui, this is a party hosted by Fangsheng International. This isn't your place to cause trouble. You have no right to tell Fei Fei what to do." He ignored her completely and continued to provoke Chun Fan. "You're the first person who's dared to challenge me like this. I'll show you the huge difference between us." Chun Fan readily agreed. "Fine by me." At that moment, a powerful voice cut through the commotion. "What is happening here?" A middle-aged man squeezed through the crowd. "Who dares to cause trouble at Fangsheng International's party?" Everyone immediately recognized him. "It's Manager Zhou. Someone's in deep trouble now. Fangsheng International has enormous influence in Chuzhou. I wonder how they'll handle this. They should probably just kick both Chun Fan and Ming Hui out. I'm already annoyed by both of them." The instigator immediately introduced himself. "Manager Zhou, I am Ming Hui. I suspect this person doesn't have an invitation. He snuck in. I request that you have him removed immediately." Manager Zhou calmly replied, "Yes, young Master Saw." Manager Zhou then turned to Chun Fan. "Sir, please present your invitation card." Deng Fei immediately interjected. "Based on just his word, we have to show our invitations? Why doesn't he show his?" He gave a simple answer. "Because young Master Suo is a friend of our young master. Also, this gentleman looks quite unfamiliar." I personally handle all the invitations, and I don't know who this gentleman is. Deng Fei suddenly thought to herself, I'm curious too. The people qualified to attend this auction are all high-class figures from Chuzhou. How did Chun Fan manage to get in here? Manager Zhou repeated, annoyed, Sir, please present your invitation, or I will call security. Chun Fan admitted, without hesitation, I don't have an invitation. Ming Hui grew more arrogant. There, I told you so. Manager Zhou was furious. No invitation? How did you get in here? Changlin was delighted to watch the drama unfold. This time, let's see how he gets out of this one. So satisfying. Tinyu, who hated Chun Fan, took the opportunity to scoff. If you don't belong, stay away. Otherwise, you'll just make a spectacle of yourself. Ninghao was flustered by a jumble of thoughts. Wait, did this guy, my rival, the one who beat me, really sneak in here like a thief? This is incredibly disappointing. Suoran was also shocked by Chun Fan's answer. Chun Fan. Deng Fei worriedly clutched his arm. Brother Chun Fan. He continued, I don't have an invitation card myself, but I was invited by someone. You can verify this at the reception desk. Manager Zhou scoffed. The only people authorized to invite guests to this party are the owner and the young master of our company. No one else. Chun Fan immediately thought, wait, isn't Zicheng the boss of Fengsheng International? Fearing he would be embarrassed, she interjected, Manager Zhou, please wait. He ignored her, strictly adhering to the rules, and grabbed the walkie-talkie. Security, security. Xiao raised his chin haughtily. Look, we're not even close to the same class. I can kick you out with a single word, and there's nothing you can do about it. The onlookers chimed in, echoing the sentiment. Get out, get out, get out. Chun Fan's expression darkened slightly. Even though Zicheng had guaranteed his entry, he hadn't anticipated this kind of trouble. Naturally, the jealous trio couldn't resist chiming in with mocking laughter. Just as things reached a boiling point, a light footstep approached. But the voice was sharper than steel. Who wants to kick him out? The beautiful young miss appeared, drawing gasps from the crowd. It's Zicheng, the Wei family's princess. Manager Zhou was stunned, breaking out in a cold sweat. Why, young miss? He scratched his head. Why are you here? Zicheng declared unequivocally. I am not your company's young miss. Mr. Chun is my esteemed guest, and you just tried to remove him. Guards, what exactly are you planning? Realizing his mistake, Manager Zhou quickly offered an embarrassed smile. I didn't realize this gentleman was your guest. If I had known, I would never have dared to kick him out. After reprimanding the manager, Zicheng turned to Chun Fan, her tone softening immediately. Mr. Chun, please forgive me for being late. I apologize. I had no idea my subordinate would be so inconsiderate. Chun Fan didn't take it to heart. His reply, however, still carried a sting. It's nothing. Just a few noisy clowns jumping around. She said nothing for a moment, thinking, my grandfather always goes to great lengths to appease Chun Fan. Yet, here he is, being embarrassed by a lowly manager. If Chun Fan gets angry and walks out today, the Wei family will have truly offended a martial Dao grandmaster. He added, this person seemed to hold some prejudice against me and was determined to kick me out. Manager Zhou tried to make excuses. Young miss, let me explain. Zicheng cut him off. No need for explanations. I'm going to recommend to your boss that you be fired immediately. Manager Zhou looked at Xiao with a desperate, miserable expression. This, young Master Xiao. But Xiao was too busy frowning in displeasure. This is Zicheng. Why did she apologize to Chun Fan? His frustration boiled over. He didn't dare to speak with the same bravado as before, instead calling out in a more subdued, placating tone. Sister Zicheng. She had no patience for him and immediately scolded him. What do you want? Don't you think I know exactly what kind of person you are? Xiao tried to interrupt, playing the victim. It's because he stole my girlfriend first. Zicheng's voice rose sharply as she snapped, silence. You're even more arrogant after going into the military. You pushed even a mild-mannered person like Mr. Chen this far. I will personally speak to Uncle Xiao about this. Having resolved the family matter, she offered a bright smile. Mr. Chun, let me show you the exhibits now. He turned to wave at Deng Fei. I'm heading inside now. We'll talk later. She nodded in response. The current situation was deeply humiliating for both Manager Zhou and Xiao. Feeling humiliated, he intentionally smashed his glass to the floor and swore under his breath. Damn it. How did he end up knowing Zicheng? A gossipy man leaned in close to his friend and whispered. Zicheng's reaction to him wasn't normal either. Does he have a powerful background we don't know about? Chao Nian noticed Deng Fai standing in a daze and nudged her. He's gone now. Don't just stand there daydreaming. But inwardly, she was just as confused. This is his backing? The Wei family's princess from Beijiang? Deng Fai was equally lost in thought, wistfully asking herself, Chun Fan, just how many secrets are you hiding? Ziqing led him through a hallway, explaining as they walked, Fangsheng International belongs to my third uncle. I apologize again. Chun Fan didn't mind. It's fine. I should be thanking you for getting me out of that situation. As they walked, she glanced at him, her thoughts racing. Chun Fan, a martial Dao grandmaster. Can he truly let go of this insult? This is bad. Fearing he still felt slighted by the earlier incident, Ziqing apologized on behalf of her cousin. Although Xiao offended you, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive him just this once. He didn't answer, though the corners of his mouth seemed to hint at something. When she noticed it, she was immediately alarmed. As expected, Ziqing became frantic, pleading, Grandmaster Chun, please. Chun Fan warned gently, if there is a next time, he won't be alive to tell the tale. Ziqing was still stunned, answering automatically. After this, I absolutely must properly teach Xiao a lesson when we get back. After walking a short distance, they encountered a man in his 50s. Ziqing introduced him, this is Uncle Lin. He'll take us on a tour of the exhibition room. Uncle Lin, calm and elegant, gestured towards the path. Young miss, this way. Please follow me. He seemed to pay particular attention to the person accompanying the young miss. His eyes narrowed in scrutiny. Chun Fan? Just a student, nothing more. Uncle Lin quickly dismissed his thoughts and began explaining to them. These items represent a great deal of effort on Third Master's part. They've been collected from all over the world. This compass, for example, was passed down by a great feng shui master during the Ming and Qing dynasties. And this is the blue sky heart gemstone from South Africa. It's rumored to bring luck to the wearer. This jade pendant was discovered in a tomb belonging to Han Dynasty royalty. All these treasures are Third Master Wei's great source of pride. Ziqing's eyes sparkled with admiration. Impressive. Seeing how quiet he was, she asked Chun Fan, what do you think of these items? Chun Fan replied indifferently, they're just ordinary antiques. Mr. Lin was clearly annoyed by his comment. Ordinary antiques. I suppose I'll have to show this young man a thing or two. He decided to pull out his trump card. Young miss, we have one final treasure. Please follow me. The three of them stopped in front of glowing sphere. Ziqing was instantly captivated, completely spellbound by the sight. Her face was dazed, eyes wide open, and mouth agape. It took her a moment to recover before asking Mr. Lin, this is the artifact being put up for auction, isn't it? He nodded. That's right. Mr. Lin thought proudly to himself. Anyone who looks at this artifact for the first time will be sucked into its vortex. The fact that Ziqing snapped out of it so quickly is rare. As for Chun Fan, he must be. Mr. Lin's anticipation was immediately extinguished by Chun Fan's completely unfazed expression. He was utterly bewildered. He's completely fine. Mr. Lin tried to maintain a calm tone as he explained, this precious gem was worn by a reclusive individual who never let it leave their body. It's said to regulate the human body's energy field, gather auspicious feng shui, and offer protection against evil, bringing good fortune. Our boss personally traveled to the place where it was interred to retrieve it. Ziqing listened in awe, saying, that truly sounds extraordinary. Seeing Chun Fan still standing there completely unfazed, Mr. Lin asked curiously, Mr. Chun, you don't seem to think much of our treasure, do you? He immediately dismissed it with a single sentence. It's just superficial, nothing more than a flashy trinket, not a genuine artifact. Chun Fan's casual, dismissive attitude infuriated Mr. Lin, who pointed a finger at him. Oh, really? Then perhaps you could show me a genuine artifact yourself? He answered without hesitation. A true artifact is one that can command the winds and summon rain, control thunder and lightning. This thing here? Aside from momentarily dazzling people and draining a bit of mental energy, it's completely useless. Mr. Lin, already biased against Chun Fan, immediately scoffed. What you're describing, Mr. Chun, only exists in legends. I simply refuse to believe it. Ziqing didn't fully believe him either, thinking to herself, he's wrong. That gem felt truly magical to me. Chun Fan immediately decided to prove it. He extended his finger and infused a strand of spiritual energy into the sphere before them. As he withdrew his finger, he asked casually now, take another look. Both Mr. Lin and Zi Qing stared in disbelief. How is this possible? The captivating force? It's completely gone. Chun Fan crossed his arms and casually explained, it was merely imbued with the mental energy of its former owner. I simply extracted it. Mr. Lin's perspective on him instantly shifted. This young man actually has some ability. I shouldn't underestimate him. Chun Fan, looking disappointed, swept his gaze over the room one last time and concluded, looks like I'm leaving empty-handed from this trip. Just as he was about to leave, his eyes suddenly lit up as he fixed his gaze on a single point. Ziqing walked up to him and asked, what's wrong? What Chun Fan was looking at was a small jade pendant resting on a white silk cloth in front of him. It was an emerald green piece of jade that looked completely ordinary. Ziqing didn't pay it much mind either. This piece of jade doesn't look special at all. It's much worse than the last one. But Chun Fan clearly liked it very much. I want this jade. Name your price. Ziqing gladly agreed. If you value it so much, Mr. Chun, please take it. Mr. Lin didn't object, even adding, the young miss is correct. Chun Fan smiled and responded sincerely. I will accept this kindness from your Wei family. He then took the piece of jade with both hands. Seeing Chun Fan's eager, mesmerized look, Ziqing was bewildered. He didn't even react when my grandfather gave him that villa. And now this ordinary piece of jade has earned his gratitude. This is truly an unexpected bonus. Ziqing couldn't suppress her curiosity any longer and asked, what's special about this old piece of jade? Chun Fan's cryptic answer only made them more curious. Once I polish and refine it, it will become a truly powerful artifact. Both Mr. Lin and Ziqing were puzzled by the term refining artifacts. Having gotten exactly what he wanted, Chun Fan was as delighted as a child. All right, there's nothing else to see here. I want to go home. He walked straight back to the banquet hall. He then approached Rong Fei and Chu Ru, who were waiting where he'd left them. Seeing Chun Fan return, Rong Fei spoke up, you're back. He let out a sigh and replied indifferently. Then, Chun Fan playfully pinched Rong Fei's cheek. Thanks for protecting me this time. After that, he returned home. Chun Fan took out the jade and examined it closely. I can't believe I found jade essence on a planet like Earth where spiritual energy is so scarce. This is truly excellent. The jade slowly began to emit a soft, soothing light. He looked at it and thought, this is the very first natural treasure I've acquired on this earth. I need to use it carefully. I might not get so lucky again. As Chun Fan began refining the artifact, the jade hovered continuously above his head. When he finished, it returned to its original form, now enveloped by a soft layer of white light. Chun Fan looked at the jade and thought to himself, if I put this up for auction, the price would be astronomical. But I'm not going to sell it. If I successfully refine it, it will be like having an extra life. How can money possibly measure up to that? Later, I'll refine a few protective talismans for my parents, Anen and Xiao Qiong, one for each of them. In that very moment, his thoughts drifted to a certain girl. Xiao Qiong, just wait for me. After his thoughts settled, Chun Fan sat in his chair, pondering. Normally, one cannot refine artifacts unless they have reached the profound understanding stage. But I am Chun Fan. I'm not some ordinary person. The detail is that my current magic power is quite low. I have to rely on slow, meticulous work to carve these secret incantations and formations. The next day, at school, Yifeng paced back and forth, humming a few melodies. Suddenly, he turned his head back, looking curious about something. His eyes narrowed suspiciously. Why does he seem to be avoiding me? He actually came to school early to study by himself? What's gotten into him today? Before his confusion subsided, Yifeng turned back around and saw Shangwan swaggering towards him. He immediately asked, making me run errands for you again? I was at the night market until 2 a.m. last night. I need to catch up on sleep. But unexpectedly, she was very polite today. Yifeng, good morning. He was startled by her greeting. Good morning. After greeting him, Shangwan pretended to ask casually, is Chun Fan absent again today? Yifeng answered calmly on the surface, looks like it. But deep down, he knew her true intention. You want to stir up trouble again, don't you? Shangwan again pretended to be innocent and asked slyly, really? Nothing bad happened to him, did it? The person continued, asking directly, which was very unrealistic. She actually cares about Chun Fan? On the outside, he was calm, but inside Yifeng's heart, it was racing like an electric shock. What on earth is going on? Oh my God, at the familiar apartment complex. He had locked himself in the house all day. Finally finished. Next, I must carry this with me to nourish my spiritual energy. I've only finished engraving 3 basic formations: the Spirit Gathering Formation, the Vajra Mantra, and the Demon Repelling Lightning Seal. It's barely enough for basic use and self-defense. With the Spirit Gathering Formation, my cultivation speed has increased by at least 30%. Chunfan thought to himself, next, I must find a place to test its practical effectiveness. Just then, the doorbell rang. He looked outside. Someone was here. As soon as Chunfan came out, he immediately asked, "You and some friends?" Outside the door were Uncle Lin, Yifeng, and Shangwan. He bowed respectfully. "Mr. Chun, I've come meet you. My master knows about your situation and wants to meet you." He was a little surprised and asked to confirm, "Is it Third Master Wei?" He stood next to me, dumbfounded. Chunfan is too awesome. What kind of magical artifact is that? She was half believing, half doubting. Third Master Wei is looking for Chunfan? Uncle Lin then subtly tried to send away the 2 friends. "Mr. Chun and I have things to discuss. Would you 2 mind visiting another day?" Chunfan also waved to them. "I'll go back to school in a few days. Thanks for visiting me." Yifeng smiled and replied, "See you at school then." Seeing Shangwan being nosy and lingering, he pulled her away. Uncle Lin then slowly started talking. "My master recently came across a genuine magical artifact, but he has been hesitant, so he wants to invite you to help examine the item." Chunfan looked confused. This matter, but that was initially. A few seconds later, he smiled brightly. "All right, let's go take a look." In a luxurious car, driving smoothly on the road. He sat in the car, continuing to make conversation. This magical artifact was brought by a merchant from Zhongzhou. Third Master was captivated by it. Chunfan played along. "So that's why there was an auction the other day, right?" He wanted to test the waters. Uncle Lin then spoke a truth. Wealthy people are very superstitious about treasures that regulate feng shui and ward off misfortune to bring good fortune. Not just in Sazu, but some big bosses from Tianhe also came. This time, we absolutely must secure it. This artifact costs tens of millions. So, the Third Master wants to invite you to examine the item. If it's genuine, he will buy it. After hearing this, he looked thoughtful, only giving a perfunctory "oh." The car drove into a villa area. Chunfan followed him inside. Both went directly to the large room located in the center of the house. A sharp-looking man with a goatee started speaking. "Mr. Chun has arrived." Responded his greeting, he politely introduced himself. "I am Chunfan." Xing Zhong, sitting at the same table, curled his lips and sneered. "Third Master Wei, why did you find a snot-nosed kid to examine the item? Is there no one left in Sazu?" He intentionally lightly hit the table, showing anger and reminding him, "Xing Zhong, this is Sazu, not Tianhe. If you keep being arrogant, I'll kick you out." He laughed mischievously and replied, "If your eldest brother or second brother were here, I would shut up immediately. However, you, Third Master Wei, don't have that authority yet." Third Master Wei stood up abruptly at his arrogant and rude attitude, but held back his anger and just spoke. At this time, Jiuling, sitting in the middle, spoke to calm things down. All right. Everyone calmed down." He listened and immediately sat down, despite still feeling very annoyed. He then looked at Chunfan and politely invited him. "And this gentleman here to examine the item. Since you've arrived, please sit down." Uncle Lin then leaned in and whispered to him, "Mr. Chun, let me introduce you. Our Third Master's Feng Sheng International Company also engages in foreign trade. Their businesses have been competing for over 10 years, and they've long been at odds. Xing Zhong comes from Tianhe City in Linhai. He controls foreign business groups and has been doing business overseas for many years. In Tianhe City, he is extremely powerful. That old man with a dignified appearance is Jiuling. He is a famous wealthy man in Sazu. Everyone calls him Old Zheng." Jiuling, speaking for the 3 most prominent figures, said, "Everyone's here now, Boss Gu. Can you show us the item?" Boss Gu naturally agreed, replying with a brief nod. The item he presented was a clear block containing a Bagua formation pattern. Chunfan's expression changed to one of surprise upon seeing it. Wei Third Master inwardly judged, "This kid truly doesn't seem like a master at all. I shouldn't have listened to Master Lin." He then asked aloud, "Master Chun, what do you make of it?" Xing Zhong quickly chimed in, "What's it to make of it? Is it a genuine artifact or not? We don't need him to tell us." Jiuling crossed his arms and let out a cold laugh. This milk-drinking brat probably doesn't even know what this Dharma item is called. Chunfan smiled at the mockery. This ancient Dharma item is barely holding on. It's covered in cracks. It probably won't last much longer. Unfortunately, none of them are worth my trouble. I won't bother reminding them. After a moment, he invited someone forward. Master G, please take a look. Master G immediately picked up the item to examine it. He observed it carefully, looking at it from every angle. Afterward, Ju Ling offered a fawning smile. Master G is a renowned feng shui master. Nothing regarding feng shui artifacts escapes his notice. Xing Zhong proudly declared, he's still far inferior to our Master Wu. Master G remained focused on the item and replied, my Dharma power is limited. I can tell this treasure is extraordinary, but I cannot tell exactly how it's extraordinary. He then looked toward another person. Master Wu, please enlighten me. Chunny adjusted his clothing and confidently stepped forward. Well, for someone with your low level of cultivation to even recognize that it's extraordinary is already quite good. Master G thought to himself, I couldn't figure out how to use this Dharma item. Can you? As Chun-He approached, Master G watched him expectantly, as if awaiting a performance. When Chun-He began casting a spell, Xing Zhong gasped aloud. Master Wu. Master Wu's sleeves are fluttering without any wind. Could he have entered the Tao? Chun-He concentrated, sending a stream of energy toward the ancient artifact. Instantly, a small blue flame enveloped the item. The people sitting there were astonished. This cool energy, it's an artifact. It's truly a genuine Dharma artifact. Wei Third Master jumped up, looking very excited. Jiuling flinched back slightly. Chun-He was the most pleased at this moment. He smirked contentedly. Xing Zhong was naturally proud of his man. How about that? Do you know what a genuine master looks like now? The entire table fell silent after the display. Chun Fan continued to observe silently. This person actually possesses Dharma power within him. Though the quality is low and quantity limited, it's still a higher level than internal force. Their little tricks are too numerous. We aren't in the same league. Wei Third Master was furious. Xing Zhong actually invited a true master. Even if I have to pay through the nose to get this item, I must invite this Master Wu to instruct me on how to use it. Boss Gu then got to the main point. Gentlemen, since you have witnessed the power of this treasure, shouldn't we start bidding? Someone interrupted, hold on. It was Xing Zhong. He rudely pointed at Chun Fan and asked, Master Chun, what do you think? Chun-He took a small sip of water, his eyes scanning everyone lightly. Everyone here has felt the power of this Dharma item. It truly feels like enlightenment. It can definitely extend one's lifespan and ward off sickness. Xing Zhong's gesture was intended to humiliate Wei Third Master. Now he's letting a wet behind the ears kid evaluate the Dharma item. Isn't this just a big joke? At this moment, Xing Zhong eagerly asked again, Master Chun, feel free to give your assessment. We want to see your capability. Chun Fan raised his voice and asked back, are you sure? Xing Zhong was usually arrogant with others, but when challenged, he lost his calm. What's wrong? Is this kid actually daring to evaluate it? He quickly turned to Master Wu for support. What do you think? He's just a country bumpkin. Chun Fan slowly stood up and deliberately explained. This Bagua formation contains 8 different incantations, forming a small-scale, gathering spiritual chi formation. Its purpose is to create an area where spiritual energy can be gathered, helping to nurture the body with spiritual energy. The body will naturally become stronger. Everyone looked intently at Chun Fan. Chun-He muttered, there's some logic to that. Wei Third Master stood up and pointed at the item. So, you're saying this Dharma item is genuine? Chun Fan honestly replied, it can reluctantly be considered genuine. But, Xing Zhong anxiously pressed, but what? Chun Fan pointed and emphasized the truth. This Dharma item can no longer withstand the strain. It has been used many times. It's about to break. The inanimate object lay silently on the table, a point of contention for everyone. The table erupted in chatter. What? So this Dharma item is almost useless? Chun-He stood up in anger. You brat. How dare you? Damn it. He's actually one of us. Jiuling seriously asked, Mr. Xing, Boss Gu, what is going on here? Xing Zhong's heart skipped a beat, and he stammered incoherently. Well, about that. Chun Fan saw through everything and clarified. What more is there to say? Of course, Mr. Xing, Master Wu, and Boss Gu colluded to pull off a scam and trick Wei Third Master. Boss Gu's face twisted, unable to say a word. Wei Third Master patiently demanded to know the truth. Xing Zhong, what exactly happened? Through the dark glasses, his embarrassed eyes were clearly visible. After this incident, Xingzhong immediately called Master Wu. Shan, he was busy dealing with the humiliation. I went through all that trouble setting things up, only to be exposed by this punk. He looked at Chun Fan's upright and proud back. He frowned and grumbled, "That kid, how dare you steal my spotlight?" Chun Fan retorted immediately, "So, what? Do you want to try something?" Shani ground his teeth, speaking each word carefully. "I've been reborn, but I haven't had a proper fight with anyone yet. My hands are getting itchy." At this moment, Zhu Ling couldn't restrain himself. He stood up, slamming his hand on the table. "You idiot. This is Chuzhou, not some place where you can mess around." The bodyguards also stepped in to stabilize the situation. Elder Zheng. Shani still focused on Chun Fan, admonishing him. "You brat, you ruined my business. How could I possibly let you off?" After saying that, Shani pulled a small bottle from his jacket pocket. Then he confidently challenged the opponent. "You said that item wasn't considered a magic artifact? Then how about this one?" He slowly opened the lid of the bottle. A plume of dark purple smoke escaped as he laughed arrogantly. "Chun Kid, check out my treasure." Gradually, green specks appeared within the smoke, forming grotesque figures that let out wails and cries. "Save me." Xingzhong panicked, shaking like a leaf. "This is a ghost-controlling technique." Shani grinned and affirmed. "That's right." 3 seconds later, the tea table was deserted as everyone fled. Seeing Chun Fan remain seated and motionless, Shanhe asked, "Kid, aren't you afraid?" A few people whispered to each other, "That kid from before? Isn't he afraid of death? He's facing a terrifying figure who can control ghosts, yet he shows no fear at all. Is he crazy?" Chun Fan took a sip of water before answering. "Based on a few insignificant insoles of yours." Shani rolled up his sleeves aggressively. "You're about to die, yet you still dare to talk big." The ghosts immediately swarmed around him, following their master's command. Chun Fan curved his lips into a faint smile. Then he threw out a comment. "So, it's just a jar for raising ghosts. Well, whatever. I guess I should show you what a true magic artifact looks like." Then he summoned thunder and lightning. Chun Fan channeled his power, thinking to himself, "Among the spells in my jade talisman, the great demon god lightning has the strongest power. Utterly resolute and pure yang, it specializes in destroying all kinds of souls and evil spirits." The black aura glanced at him. Chun Fan continued to control the thunder and lightning. With sharp eyes, he chanted a spell. Instantly, several bolts of lightning shot toward the black aura, causing it to distort. It spread out and attacked He directly, astonishing him. The power of the lightning blew He away. Looking back at his hand, he was stunned and cried out, "The lightning technique of the Heavenly Master Sect." At that moment, several thoughts suddenly flashed through his mind. This is Chun Fan. This is Chun Fan. Oh my God. He also fell to his knees, kowtowing repeatedly for mercy. "Master, spare my life. This disciple will never dare again. Never dare again." Chun Fan questioned in a cold voice. "I destroyed your spell technique. Do you yield?" Shani cried out continuously, like a machine. "I yield." Chun Fan asked again. "I destroyed your magic artifact and ruined your cultivation path. Do you yield?" He quickly kowtowed, repeating his answer. "Of course I yield." Chun Fan raised his voice sharply and asked for a third time. "I ruined your business, destroyed your reputation, and made you kneel down for mercy. Do you yield?" Shani's answer remained unchanged. This disciple yields completely, wholeheartedly yields. Seemingly satisfied, Chun Fan warned him once more. "Since that is the case, I will spare your life. If you ever dare step foot in Chuzhou again, I will make you vanish in a thin air, body and soul completely gone." The scene fell upon Xingzhong's eyes. It caused sweat to pour down his face. Even Master Wu was beaten to the point of kneeling and begging for mercy. "I'm just an ordinary person. How dare I oppose this immortal who controls lightning?" With that thought, Xingzhong clasped his hands together, stammering nervously. "Master Chun, killing people is against the law." In response to this attitude, Chun Fan just gave a sarcastic smile. "Earlier, you were yelling and ordering me around, weren't you? Where did all that arrogance go now?" But for Xingzhong, his small life had become more important. "Master Chun, please spare my life. I'll give you whatever you want. This is true power." He sneered as comments from the surroundings rang out. that aura of looking down on everything, viewing the world with contempt. I'm afraid only someone holding immense power could possess such an aura. Suddenly, Chun Fan turned to an elderly man and asked, "When you auctioned off that bagua table earlier, what was the highest bid offered?" The man quickly replied, 45 million. Upon hearing this, he suggested to Xingzhong, "How about you use that 45 million to buy your life?" He didn't dare to haggle for even a second. "Yes, 45 million, I'll pay." Chun Fan continued to demand, pointing towards the exit. "Within 3 days, I want that 45 million placed in front of me. You can get out now." The two men immediately scrambled outside, one after another, leaving behind Sanjia, who was constantly flattering him. "Master Chun, I knew you had the skill. Those guys were all trash." Chun Fan thought scornfully. How did he manage to raise such an idiotic son? Third Master suggested, "Let's move somewhere else to talk." Chun Fan heard this and simply acknowledged it. Very quickly, the four of them sat around a table. Chun Fan spoke first. "Master Ji, I just heard you mention Grandmaster Wu has entered the Tao. Could you explain what exactly entering the Tao entails?" He smiled and replied, "Grandmaster Chun, you give me too much credit. In front of you, how could I dare call myself a master? The so-called entering the Tao means cultivating magic power, being able to use spells and spiritual artifacts, and becoming extraordinary. The Tao path is called refining essence in ecchi. For martial artists, this is cultivating inner force." Master Ji looked at Chun Fan with complexity. Chun Fan can control lightning. He's already at a legendary level from ancient times. Why would he ask such basic questions? Chun Fan smiled and replied, "So that's how it is." He thought to himself, "It seems the inheritances on Earth are incomplete, far removed from the true path of cultivation. Grandmaster Wu is only in the middle stage of foundation establishment. This Master Ji must have just entered the discipline." He couldn't help but wonder, what exactly did that Wu guy mean by the thunder techniques of the Celestial Master Sect? Master Ji explained, "The Celestial Master Sect is a major branch of Taoism that commands thunder techniques, specializing in destroying all forms of evil spirits and demonic forces. It's just that these techniques have been lost." Chun He added, "Grandmaster Wu's ghost manipulation techniques are most afraid of the Celestial Master Sect's thunder techniques." At this moment, he clasped his hands in query, "I wonder who Grandmaster Chen's teacher is." Chun Fan explained, "I have been following my master in cultivation since I was young. He has no connection to the Celestial Master Sect whatsoever." Chun Fan thought to himself, "Although my Divine Lesser Thunder technique is the lowest level spell, it can still compare to the incomplete orthodox inheritances on Earth." Hearing this, Master Ji politely replied, "It seems your respected master must truly be a figure like an immortal." Chun Fan smiled without answering. He thought to himself, "Having lived for 340,000 years, capable of swallowing suns and creating matter from nothingness, I am certainly worthy of being called an immortal." Third Master chimed in, "Grandmaster Chun has extraordinary talent, but Master Ji has abundant experience and high prestige." Jiuling also agreed, "That's right, Grandmaster Chun. You summoned lightning with just a command. That's incredibly powerful." Chun Fan thought scornfully, "This idiot lives to flatter people. He doesn't know anything else, but he's excellent at sucking up." At this moment, Jiuling asked, "Grandmaster Chun, how do you think we should handle this bagua plate?" He slowly explained, "At most, it can hold up for 1 or 2 more times." Hearing this, Master Ji pondered, "Although Grandmaster Chen's ability isn't bad, spiritual artifacts that promote health and harmonize feng shui are better, aren't they?" Third Master froze slightly, starting to feel indignant. "In the end, someone else has high abilities, while the spiritual artifact belongs to me." Third Master thought to himself, "That bastard Xiongzhong dared to trick me. I absolutely won't forgive him." Chun Fan closed his eyes and said softly, "Whatever. The formation array on this bagua plate is extremely crude. Its effect is negligible. It's not as good as a spiritual artifact I refine myself." Third Master's eyes widened in surprise as he asked again, "Grandmaster Chun, you're saying you can refine spiritual artifacts?" As he spoke, he presented an item. "This jade talisman is the treasure of Boss Wei. I took it back and successfully refined it." At this moment, Uncle Lin approached and spoke quietly to Third Master. He suggested, "Grandmaster Chun, please name your price. Help me refine a spiritual artifact similar to this bagua plate." Master G smiled in support of Third Master. Grandmaster Chun, please name your price. He didn't name a price. Instead, he replied with a request. If you two help me collect some jade stones, I will help you refine spiritual artifacts. Third Master affirmed. Don't worry, Grandmaster Chun. Leave it to me. Hearing this, he began to prepare to leave. Chun Fan didn't forget to say goodbye. I'm done here. I'm leaving now. No need to see me out. The three people watched him go and politely replied, Take care, Grandmaster Chun. Take care. In Tianhe City, within a secret room, Xiong Zhong was venting his anger at Shan He. That guy Chun Fan didn't just ruin me, he also wants 45 million more. He gnashed his teeth. 45 million is enough to organize a merchant fleet for business in South America. At this moment, a subordinate casually added, Then don't give it to him. He immediately bore the brunt of Xiong Zhong's rage. Don't give it to him? When Chun Fan comes knocking, am I supposed to pay with your head? Knowing he had misspoke, the man quickly waved his hands and replied, I was wrong, big brother. Shan He then gently soothed him. All right, big brother Xiong. Since things are already like this, we should focus on what's next. These words made Xiong Zhong's mouth curve into a smile. What's next? He then turned around and asked, What's the word from overseas? When will Tiger Master return? A subordinate quickly replied, Tiger Master will arrive in Huaxia within 10 days. He continued, satisfied. I'll see where Third Master Wei and Tian Hao run this time. Xiong Zhong clenched his fist and exclaimed excitedly, With Tiger Master here, killing Tian Hao will be easy. Sanjiang will become a tiger without its fangs, won't it? The subordinates agreed in unison. That's right. Third Master's success today, aside from the Wei family, relies on that omnipotent subordinate Tian Hao. Only Shan, he had different thoughts from the crowd. Why don't you guys consider what would happen if Tiger Master runs into Chun Fan? Forget it. I wouldn't dare think about it. Time passed. 3 days later in Chuzhou. At this moment, Chun Fan was looking at the card in his hand. This is the bank card Xiong Zhong sent someone to deliver. I have quite a bit of money in hand now. Although I will quickly break through to the middle stage of foundation establishment, after entering the late stage of foundation establishment, my cultivation speed will become very slow. The power of the void body tempering art lies in absorbing large amounts of spiritual qi in a specific amount of time. Every time I advance a level, the demand for spiritual qi also increases. To increase my cultivation speed, I either need to find a spiritual cultivation ground or use spiritual stones and elixirs as supplements. If it's a spiritual cultivation ground, there isn't even one in all of Chuzhou. I still have to go to school, so I can't leave Chuzhou. If there isn't one, I can build one myself. Chun Fan had gotten out of the car, his mind still in thought. Most cultivation sects have self-built spiritual grounds for their disciples to cultivate in. The cultivation holy land of true, martial, immortal venerable was an enormous immortal formation composed of countless stars. You can't set up an artificial spirit land in a crowded residential area like the lakeside. Good thing Mr. Wei gave me that villa back then. Chun Fan looked at the key in his hand, a slight frown creasing his brow. The villa sits atop Yunwu Mountain. From up here, I can overlook all of Yunwu Mountain and Yangue Lake. Its imposing aura dominates the landscape, claiming the premier position. If I can set up a large-scale formation to draw in the spiritual energy from Yangue Lake and Yunwu Mountain, gathering it right here, I can form a small-scale paradise spirit ground. That would be enough for me to cultivate all the way to the profound enlightenment stage. For this formation to gather spirit energy, it must also have a protective function. As for the core artifact for the formation, I can only use the Jade Talisman. But normally, when I go out, I won't have a protective talisman anymore. Chun Fan finally smiled, concluding, Forget it. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. The formation itself is the most important part. The formation arrangement is intricate. I need to refine many small artifacts and link them all together. His phone quickly connected to a number. Third Master answered, surprised. Master Chun, you want to set up a formation on top of Yunwu Mountain? What's a formation? Is it like the 8 trigrams formation from Romance of the Three Kingdoms? Luckily, the accompanying engineer quickly chimed in. Let me take this call. Chun Fan pressed his lips together, speechless at Third Master's antics. One idiot. But his network of connections is not something to be ignored. The phone was quickly passed to the engineer. Master Chun, you want to deploy formation? Chun Fan explained quickly. That's right. I plan to use the villa on the peak as the center and deploy a large-scale formation that covers the entire Yunwu Mountain. The more the engineer heard, the more skeptical he grew. So, it's a formation to protect the mountain? Only top-tier experts working together with a dozen other people could possibly finish such a massive undertaking. Chun Fan immediately reassured him. No need to exaggerate so much. I only want to protect the villa. The other parts are just auxiliary formations. His mood calmed slightly. If that's the case, drawing in all the spiritual energy from Yunwu Mountain and Yengue Lake, aren't you essentially recreating a spirit vein? I've truly never heard of such a thing. Nowadays, very few experts can deploy formations. Who do you plan to recruit for assistance? Chun Fan asserted confidently. It's fine. I can manage by myself. The engineer's eyes went wide. By yourself? He confirmed again. That's right. I'm only looking for you guys to help me acquire some materials. I need materials to refine the small artifacts for the formation layout. Once everything is done, I'll refine a formation artifact, similar to the 8 trigrams formation, for you all free of charge. Third Master snatched the phone from the engineer's hand, quickly replying, Yes, no problem at all. Satisfied with the answer, Chun Fan hung up. All right, time to start refining the first formation artifact. The formation at the Yunwu Mountain Villa would be dubbed the Yunshan Grand Array. The Yunshan Grand Array consists of 4 main components: the innermost Spirit Gathering Array, the defense formation to protect the villa, the Spirit Guiding Formation extending to Yengue Lake, and the Mist Formation covering the entirety of Yunwu Mountain. Chun Fan looked around the villa, identifying key points. Now I need to acquire materials for the Spirit Gathering Array, specifically high-grade gems. He received the items from Third Master. Only high-grade gems can endure such powerful, surging spiritual energy. He then sat cross-legged on the floor, a glowing orb suspended before him. Chun Fan closed his eyes and began chanting a special incantation. The item began to glow. He breathed a long breath onto it. The vital energy made the item's colors sparkle even brighter. Several strange chains suddenly appeared, coiling around it. In an instant, the item was fixed in place. Chun Fan then reached out and took hold of it. He muttered calculations. This spirit gathering plate is finally refined. With these 5 plates and the Jade Talisman, the large spirit gathering array is nearly complete. The required gems for the spirit gathering array are best found by myself. As long as I have money, it's fine. However, the materials for the other formations are much harder to come by. Relying on Third Master's people forever isn't a long-term solution. I need to figure out a way to create a path for myself. Chun Fan placed the spirit gathering plates in various spots throughout the house, from the living room table to the cabinet beside the bed. Even outside on the balcony, on the kitchen cabinets, and tucked away in several small nooks of the house. The entire area was soon bathed in a soft green light. Chun Fan frowned. Prepare the incantation. A wave of green light quickly enveloped the entire villa, causing it to stand out brightly against the backdrop of the sunset sky. He closed his eyes, thinking, so much spiritual energy is being funneled here, into the villa. Every drop, without a single leak. It's done. The spiritual energy density has increased by roughly 30%. Tomorrow, I'll continue drawing in the spiritual energy from Yengue Lake. This place will truly become a genuine spiritual land. Next, I just have to wait for Third Master to deliver the materials. Walking through the crowd, Chun Fan overheard snatches of conversation. There's only Villa Number 1 on the mountain peak. Could he possibly be living there? No way, that's impossible. He's just a kid. Suddenly, a voice called out Chun Fan's name. He turned around and smiled. Aunt Tang. Aunt Tang appeared with Chuya. Chuya asked curiously, Why are you here? Chun Fan explained matter-of-factly, I live here. She asked, astonished. You live in Villa Number 1? At this point, Hai Shan mocked. After Villa Number 1 was built, it was given to President Wei of Fangxing International. Don't tell me you're President Wei. Chun Fan calmly explained. He gave me this villa. Aunt Tang thought, didn't she say she wanted to watch the sunrise? Come over to my place and sit down. But inwardly, she started overthinking. My common sense tells me he's lying. What makes this kid think Third Master would give him a villa? But I don't want to hurt his feelings. So she declined. Aunt Tang just finished eating and just wants to walk around. Maybe next time. Xiao Fan, why don't you and Ran walk together? Your uncle and I won't bother you anymore. But Hai Shan still snidely remarked, he's just showing off, trying to impress a girl. Fortunately, Ran isn't easy to fool. Aunt Tang ground her teeth and warned, keep your mouth shut. Now, it was Chao Ran's turn to ask curiously, "What are you doing here?" She blushed as she hesitantly concluded, "For me?" This time, Chun Fan affirmed again, "I really do live in Villa Number 1. I could take you up there right now." But she still refused to believe him. "Chun Fan, it's just the two of us here. You're still talking big? I know you're Ziqing's friend, but so what? A darling like Ziqing might occasionally be friends with ordinary people, but the gap between you two is too big. You can't be real friends." Chun Fan was a bit disappointed and didn't bother arguing. "This has nothing to do with Ziqing. It really is my house." And then he just walked away. "Believe me or don't. It's up to you." She stared blankly in shock. "He actually just abandoned me. Don't think you can rely on Ziqing forever." Although it's impossible, deep down in my heart, a small ambition arose. What if he really was the person Third Master gave the villa to? I read in a book, when you start caring about someone, that's when you truly feel disappointed and angry with them. Am I starting to care about Chun Fan? Night falls on a ship out on the open sea. A person approached Lin Hu to inform him, "We are very close to the coast now. If we continue forward, we'll be caught by the Chinese Coast Guard. The speedboat is ready. Please transfer to it immediately." Hearing this, he couldn't help but frown. "No need, I'll go myself." Ignoring the warnings, Boss Hu stepped onto the railing. It's dangerous to drive the speedboat to shore alone in the middle of the night with these big waves, especially without experience. And then he jumped directly into the sea, leaving his subordinates on the boat in shock, watching after him. "Boss Hu! Boss Hu!" Meanwhile, on Xing Zhong's side, a crowd of people had been waiting for some time. He himself frowned and muttered, "Why hasn't this Lin Hu shown up yet? We've been waiting for hours." Hearing this, Shan He replied, "I don't find Hong Min trustworthy at all. No wonder they were driven out of the mainland back then." Xing Zhong turned to his subordinates and ordered, "Contact them and check on the situation." The reply came very quickly. The other side reported, "The private boat reached 10 kilometers from shore. Boss Hu has quickly come over here on his own." Hearing this, he frowned in surprise. "What do you mean? Did he drive the speedboat here himself?" Shani next to him commented, "In this weather, coming alone is suicide." Xing Zhong's gaze swept across the sea. In this kind of weather, unless controlled by a veteran, ordinary small boats are helpless out here. An unfortunate thought crossed his mind. Don't tell me he died before we even met. Just then, a subordinate cried out in alarm, "Boss, look, what's that over there?" The water's surface began to change, splitting to form a path. The people on shore exclaimed in wonder as Lin Hu emerged from the water. "Is that a speedboat? It's too fast. How is that possible?" That path went straight toward the shore. He finally jumped and landed on the shore in one smooth motion. A stammered cry rang out from behind. "Boss Hu?" Lin Hu looked over and nodded in response. "That's right, it's me. You're Xing Zhong? It seems I didn't come to the wrong place." His eyes suddenly spotted something. He looked at Shan He and commented, "I didn't expect to see another person in the martial arts world here." Shan He awkwardly laughed and replied, "I also didn't expect Boss Hu's martial arts to be this formidable." Shani couldn't help but feel wary inside. Since coming to Jiangbei, I've received so many shocks. Chun Fan summoned thunder with a shout, and now Boss Hu walks on water. Both have godlike strength. Lin Hu suddenly changed the subject. "How did my brother Lin Bao die? Have you investigated it?" Xing Zhong quickly presented, "Boss Bao died at the hands of Tian Hao." This information darkened Lin Hu's face. Impossible. Lin Bao's martial arts had reached inner strength grand completion. Tian Hao is just a small fry. How could he kill him? They were silent for a moment. Then they slowly explained. "There's a special person in Chuzhou who controls lightning. It's highly likely he's the one who acted." This information surprised Lin Hu for a second time. China actually has a successor of thunder techniques? Shani laughed as he explained, "I suspect he's a direct disciple of the Heavenly Master sect. Everyone calls him Master Chun." The words were etched into Lin Hu's mind. Heavenly Master sect? Master Chun? His face darkened further as he listened to Xing Zhong add, "He's not a true person, but he kills my subordinates like chickens." "Boss Hu, do you want to go to Chuzhou to take revenge now?" But he shook his head and explained, "No hurry. Besides avenging Lin Bao, I want to consolidate power in Jiangbei to serve as a bridgehead for Hong Min." This new information made Xing Zhong exclaim, "Hong Min wants to enter the country?" Lin Hu continued, "That's right. In the 90s, Hong Min tried to enter the country simultaneously. Unfortunately, my master lost an Tian back then. Today, my master has achieved grand completion of his divine technique and plans to return to China to challenge Tian once more." At this point, he smiled and agreed. In that case, please wait for a bit, boss who. The annual underground martial arts competition is only half a month away. Another new concept that confused Lin who. Underground martial art competition? Xing Zhong continued in a dangerous tone. This martial arts competition is a banquet for the big bosses of Jiangbei to resolve disputes and decide allocations. Tian Hao will definitely show up. We just need to spread the rumor that many experts are attending this martial arts competition. That will naturally lure Tian Hao into bringing Grandmaster Chen along. Lin Hu agreed. Fine, let's go with that plan. Xing Zhong continued to paint a picture. When Lin Hu steps onto the arena and kills Grandmaster Chen in front of everyone, North River will be unified under one banner. Elsewhere, a girl's silhouette hovered near the doorway. She was immediately spotted. Rong Fei. Looking for someone? Yuan He, perhaps? She quickly corrected them. No, no, no. I'm looking for Chen Fan. This declaration caused a stir among the crowd. Rong Fei approached him and shyly invited. Next week is my birthday. Will you come? Chen Fan smiled and replied. Your birthday party? Of course I'll come. You're like a little sister to me, after all. Hearing this, she couldn't help but blush and think. Just a little sister? Rong Fei quickly left without revealing her disappointment. Saturday at 7 p.m. Don't forget, he watched her go, thinking, I've been so busy setting up the formations for the villa on the mountain peak. Damn it. Saturday evening quickly arrived. Rong Fei, looking splendid in a dress, excitedly greeted him. Chen Fan, you're here? He smiled back. Happy birthday. This is for you. Rong Fei delightedly asked. There's a present too? Thank you. She reached out to unwrap the gift, but Shuren quickly stopped her. Don't open it in front of people. It's rude. She glared at Chen Fan and continued. You're here now, so go inside. Stop blocking the entrance. Chen Fan just smiled and said nothing in return. Instead, he simply walked straight inside. Soon, Chen Fan was present at the party. Ishan also noticed him. There's definitely something unexpected behind Chen Fan. Someone descended the stairs and announced, All right, if everyone has arrived, let's begin. He smiled politely. Hello, Andy. The woman replied with a satisfied smile. She then turned to the person next to her and instructed, Ming Hui, go tell Rong Fei and the others to come in. He quickly obeyed. Ming Hui's gaze suddenly landed on Chen Fan. Chen Fan just walked by, but Ming Hui watched him with animosity. He even let out a frustrated huff. Chen Fan, however, ignored him, thinking, Ming Hui, if you dare to mess with me like last time, I absolutely won't hold back. No matter how much backing you have, you won't stop me, Chen Fan, from killing you. Rong Fei smiled and motioned. Let's start the party. Ming Hui pushed out the cake, quickly attracting compliments from the guests. It's beautiful. They gathered around her. Then Rong Fei started to blow out the candles. She clasped her hands together and silently made a wish. On this moment of my 17th birthday, I have one wish. I hope that Chen Fan and I can stay together until we grow old and gray. From his side, he also noticed her gaze. I understand your feelings. I've roamed the universe for 500 years. I've won every battle. Countless goddesses have admired me. But in this lifetime, I'm destined to let you down. After making her wish, Rong Fei cut the cake with everyone else. However, in the middle of it, a sudden appearance interrupted everything. Su Ao entered, accompanied by a group of bodyguards. Rong Fei's mother asked in surprise, Why are you here? Rong Fei's eyes widened as she called out in surprise. He smiled and replied, Fei Fei, I heard you were celebrating your 17th birthday, so I came all the way from Haizhou specifically for this. It's my daughter's birthday. As her father, of course I have to show up. But Rong Fei's mother resentfully asked, Do you still remember us? Why don't you go back to your proper wife? They hugged each other tightly. Rong Fei on the side couldn't hold back her tears. The crowd murmured with curiosity. He's Fei Fei's father? I heard he abandoned them and married into another family elsewhere. Look at all this extravagance. No one could pretend to be him. Rong Fei ran towards her parents, exclaiming loudly, Dad. Next, an old man appeared at the front gate. Chen Fan thought in surprise, a martial artist with inner chi. Moreover, he's no weaker than Lin Bao and Old Wei in terms of great inner force. Someone wondered, why does Fei Fei's father look like Su Ao? Which Su Ao? A name was immediately suggested, Su Ao of Haidong. Speaking of Haidong, it's the most economically developed city, with the largest land area among all cities in North River. It's the biggest city in North River. Su Ao is the boss of Haizhou. He could even be called the boss of all North River. Yishun's eyes widened in horror. I didn't expect him to be Fei Fei's father. Rong Fei was originally just a pretty face barely considered part of Chuzhou's elite circle. Unexpectedly, in an instant today, she became Su Ao's daughter. At this moment, Vu Man asked in surprise, but Xiang Hao looks married. Is Fei Fei his illegitimate daughter? Zhang Chao replied. Not necessarily. I heard Su Ao's son is only 10 years old. Maybe Su Ao had Fei Fei first, then divorced and married his current wife. He then spoke up. Everyone here must be close friends with Fei Fei, right? I'm Su Ao from Haizhou. Thank you all for taking care of her. He looked over and asked, Ming Hui, how is Commander Chu doing? He politely replied, Thank you, Uncle Su. My father is doing well. Then a name was suddenly mentioned. Who is Chun Fan? All eyes immediately turned toward him. Chun Fan politely replied, Hello, Uncle Su. I am Chun Fan. Rong Fei worriedly defended him, Dad. Don't cause trouble for brother Chun Fan. Hearing this, Su Ao denied it. I'm not. It's just that I keep hearing his name constantly recently, like a horn blowing in my ear. He continued, addressing the group, Everyone, please continue enjoying Fei Fei's birthday celebration. Ming Hui, sit next to Fei Fei. He quickly complied. On this side, Vu Man continued to ask, Aunt Su, I heard a very powerful Master Chun recently appeared in Chuzhou. She looked at her and slowly explained, That's right. I heard Old Man Zheng and the third master greatly respect this person. Even Master Ji, who is famous throughout Chuzhou, praised him, saying he possesses true magic and remarkable abilities, comparable to the masters from the other side of the harbor. Hearing this, Yi-chan cut in. Does magic truly exist in this world? She hesitated and explained. I'm not entirely sure about that. The people who have met Master Chun are only the top wealthy families in Chuzhou. Su Ao suddenly spoke up to explain, Speaking of this Master Chun, I actually know a bit about him. The crowd immediately went silent, focusing on his next words. Su Ao mentioned a name, Xing Zhong from Tianhe City. Do you know him? Ming Hui immediately replied, I heard he is the chairman of an international trading company, with his own fleet and overseas connections. In Tianhe City, he practically rules everything. He agreed with him, that's right. Ming Hui unconsciously glanced at Chun Fan with an air of arrogance. Su Ao continued. Xing Zhong brought an expert to Chuzhou for a deal, trying to trick the third master. He didn't expect. The third master also had an expert by his side. The deception was exposed instantly. Moreover, that person used magic to defeat Xing Zhong's expert completely. Afterwards, Xing Zhong left in disgrace and had to pay 45 million. The huge amount made them exclaim, 45 million? My allowance is only a few million. Hearing this, Yi-chan added, It seems this Master Chen truly possesses great skill. Otherwise, why would Xing Zhong leave Tianhe City so obediently? And hand over the money too. The people around him chimed in, even though Xing Zhong has money, paying 45 million is a huge blow. So powerful. Exactly. Vu Man blushed and murmured wishfully, I wonder what kind of person this Master Chun is. If I could marry him, that would be amazing. However, Chuya, with her arms crossed, shattered her fantasy, he might be an old man. Besides, if you marry him, what about Yang Chao? Hearing this, Vu Man snorted him. If he had even half of Master Chen's skill, maybe I'd consider it later. The party soon came to an end. Rong Fei gently saw Chun Fan off. Thank you for coming. He smiled back. It's nothing. I'm glad you had fun. Bye-bye. His mind was already focused on important matters back home. I need to continue setting up the Cloud Mountain formation. The next day arrived quickly. Chun Fan's mind was completely occupied with the Cloud Mountain formation. Even while walking down the street, he was thinking about the Cloud Mountain formation. A car suddenly pulled up beside him. The driver made the invitation, Mr. Chun, my boss would like to invite you. Su Ao had been waiting for Chun Fan on the bridge for a while. He smiled and spoke up. Uncle Su, you want to see me? What can I do for you? He didn't turn around, simply looking into the distance as he asked, Look around here. What do you see? Chun Fan looked at the scenery and replied, It's Yanxiu Lake, vast and misty. Su Ao finally turned to look at him. That's right. The vast waves and mist make people realize how small they truly are. However, Yanxiu Lake only ranks 10th in Jiangnan province. Looking at the entirety of Huaxia, it's just a tiny, insignificant lake. Hearing this, Chun Fan asked directly, What are you trying to say, Uncle Su? His eyes flashed sharply. Just like you. You stand out in Chuzhou, but in the scope of all Huaxia, you're just a small grain of sand. My meaning is very clear. I want you to stay away from Fei Fei. You don't have the qualifications to marry my daughter. Chen Fan's face darkened when he heard these words. What exactly qualifies as qualified? Su Ao didn't hesitate to state his standards. Whether it's family background or ability, you must be outstanding. Exceptional. I don't believe you possess any of those things. You appear humble on the outside, but you're actually incredibly arrogant. You won't succeed in life. Why would I marry my daughter to someone like that? Chen Fan abruptly cut him off. Mr. Su, I only see Fei Fei as a younger sister. Furthermore, I do have the ability to be arrogant. Su Ao challenged him. Is that based on your parents' wealth or your own extraordinary skills? My wealth and abilities are beyond your imagination. Chen Fan reminded him casually, Mr. Su, these are things that can be acquired easily. Unexpectedly, he received another look of disdain from Su Ao. Easily acquired? You're far too naive. Su Ao turned away and waved his hand. Forget it. Come find me when you've sorted out your thoughts. He glanced back secretly, watching him go. I actually wanted to bring Chen Fan on board. I didn't expect him to be so arrogant. Chen Fan mused to himself. These people truly look down on Hu Yankee. They think he's nothing but a small-time figure in Huaxia. But what they don't realize is that to me, this entire planet is nothing more than a speck of dust. The luxury car sped away. Su Ao folded his arms and asked, I hear Xing Zhong managed to find a high-level expert this time? The driver reported, that's right, Lord Z. Xing Zhong has even been boasting that he'll dominate North Jiang with this tournament. Hearing this, he turned to the side and said, Old Jew, it seems I'll have to rely on your help this time around. Old Jew smiled faintly. Rest easy, Lord Z. Chen Fan made a phone call. The person on the other end sounded surprised. Su Ao? Why would he come at Chuzhou? Did he cause trouble for you? He slowly explained as he walked. No, nothing like that. I just found out he's the father of a friend. Tian Hao let out a sigh of relief. Phew, that's fine then. Su Ao has some serious backing. Even Lord San finds him a major headache. I see, Master Chun. The reason I called, actually, is to ask for a favor. Chen Fan paid attention. What is it? He listened carefully as the other person explained. In half a month, there's an underground martial arts tournament where all the major powers in North Jiang will divide their territory. Word is, this tournament won't just have many martial experts, but internal force cultivators as well. Upon hearing this, Chen Fan bluntly asked, You want me to fight on your behalf? He quickly denied it. I wouldn't dare suggest that. I've already invited Master Ji to fight for me. I'm asking you to come and simply maintain order at the venue. I actually wouldn't mind seeing these internal force masters in action. Chen Fan accepted. All right, just let me know when's happening. His gaze drifted to the distance. My top priority right now is still setting up the Cloud Mountain formation. Time passed quickly, and half a month later, due to limited resources, Chen Fan could only set up the preliminary spirit gathering formation. The 16 deep-sea primordial stones, each bearing his spiritual mark, were placed in their designated positions. He closed his eyes, sensing his surroundings. Then he let out a sharp cry, and his entire body suddenly glowed brightly. Sweat dripped down Chen Fan's face. It's here. Streams of energy surged around his body. Chen Fan gritted his teeth, feeling the surging spiritual energy. His body felt like it was about to burst. But I can handle it. He forced a smile. At that moment, his body began to transform. His bones and muscles were reinforced. Chen Fan finally let out a long breath. He stood up, examining his hands and feet. The second layer of the void body refining technique, J-Bone, is finally complete. It's a shame these deep-sea primordial stones don't compare to true heavenly treasures, only to find something better later on. Back at the villa, Chen Fan continued his cultivation. The void body refining technique is divided into 5 stages: ice muscle, J-Bone, silver blood, golden pupil, and Tao body. I was only able to break through to J-Bone today by leveraging the power of the spirit gathering formation. The cultivation environment on Earth is truly dreadful. I really hope I get to test out a few moves. The upcoming martial arts tournament better not disappoint me. Chen Fan was now inside the car arranged by Tian Hao. Chen Fan glanced over with a serious expression. Based on this direction, is the tournament being held in Dongjiang province? Tian Hao quickly responded. Yes. Xingyang town is neutral ground between the 2 provinces. It hosts the underground martial arts tournament every year. He added, this is where they hold the secret underground martial arts competition. Ah B, gripping the steering wheel, chimed in, plus, there's also black market boxing. Lots of rich people come here just for entertainment. The car pulled to a stop. We're almost there. That villa ahead belongs to me. Several figures were already waiting for them. Brother Hao. Brother Bill, you're here. As Chun Fan stepped out of the car, Tian Hao spoke up. Master Chun, this is Vice Chairman Zhang from Qingyang Town. A well-dressed, middle-aged man smiled and suggested, just call me Little Zhang. And who might this Master Chin be? Tian Hao proudly introduced him. Master Chin here is a friend of Lord San's. Hearing this, Little Zhang immediately reached out to shake Chun Fan's hand. Oh my, what an honor. A truly distinguished guest. Tian Hao intervened, gently stopping Zhang from lingering on Chun Fan's hand. All right. Master Chun is visiting for the first time. Please take good care of him, Brother Zhang. Understanding Tian Hao's meaning, Lil Zhang just smiled and replied, you can trust me on that. I'll make sure Master Chun has such a great time he'll forget all about going home. They followed him inside. Several female staff greeted them warmly. Welcome, distinguished guests. One particular girl specifically approached Chun Fan. She looked at him shyly and said, I'm Ashio. Meanwhile, Tian Hao was already surrounded by other girls as he explained. The final matches of the tournament are this afternoon. You can explore the area first. At this point, Little Zhang cut in with some advice. Master Chun, if you want to walk around outside, take Ashio with you. The locals here can be quite rough. It's easier to navigate with someone from around here. Chun Fan took his advice and brought Ashio along. As they walked, Chun Fan seriously asked her, how exactly are these matches structured? Ashio carefully explained. In the daytime, it's just regular martial arts sparring. In the afternoon, there are arena fights, and at night, a bonfire party. She added, the arena fights in the afternoon are real matches where people can actually die. The prize money is big, but everyone competing is desperate and has been pushed to a dead end by life. Chun Fan only responded to her with a distinct lack of interest. Ashio grew cautious, thinking to herself, I put on such a pitiful face, yet he still has no sympathy for me at all. A group of people suddenly appeared in front of him. Su Ao glanced over, his voice deep. Why are you here? Chun Fan remained polite, smiling as he replied, Mr. Su. Su Ao then made an authoritative demand. Don't wander off. Meet me at the guest house tonight. After speaking, he left. The bald man following him asked curiously, Brother Su, who's that kid? Su Ao calmly explained, he's my nephew. He came here on his own. Guodong scoffed, adding, kids these days, as soon as they hear about underground fighting, Guodong's gaze suddenly turned lewd. That kid's girlfriend isn't bad. What a shame. Su Ao looked at Guodong with disgust, thinking, that bald scoundrel is too perverted. I'm only associated with him because he's a wealthy man from Qinghe City. He then continued to stare at Chun Fan, annoyed. Chun Fan already has Fei Fei, and now he's trying to seduce this girl, too? What a mess. Ashio also felt his unfriendly gaze from nearby. She turned to Chun Fan and asked, they're really scary. Especially that bald guy. His eyes look like they want to swallow people whole. She continued to question him, do you know them? He made no attempt to hide it, directly stating, the one leading them is Su Ao. Su Ao's name shocked Ashio. Haidong Su Ao? You know old Master Ao? But she quickly calmed down and continued, that makes sense. As Master Chun, your status is highly respected. Even Town Head Zhang has to curry favor with you. With a dangerous, dark expression, Chun Fan asked in return, you know Su Ao? Ashio replied slowly, her voice trembling slightly in fear, I know a lot of people who work for old Master Ao. Throughout, she never stopped observing Chun Fan's expression. He really isn't affected at all. Am I really so unattractive? He simply continued walking toward the crowd. Ashio walked beside him, quietly explaining, the final martial arts competition hasn't even started, yet there are already so many people here. We should hurry and go in. His eyes fixed on the arena as he thought, this is the fighting stage Tian Hao wanted me to put down. The area inside was already crowded with people. I hear this is where the big bosses of Jiangbei gather. That's right. They're using this place to settle scores and carve up territory. The crowd quickly became chaotic, yelling, they're here. They're here. They're here. Chun Fan asked curiously, who's here? Ashio explained from beside him, the big bosses have arrived. A few figures appeared in the distance. Xing Zhong and Nishan, he slowly walked in. Look, there's brother Xing Zhong from Tianhe City. Lu the Baldy from Qinghe is here too. Tianhe appeared proudly on this side. However, the people below were already gossiping. Why is only Tianhe here? Where's third master from Chuzhou? They continued to identify people. The richest man in Jiangbei, Su Ao from Haidong. As these two sat down, Xingzhong's group couldn't help but show disdain. Lao Gu wouldn't even. Xingzhong, just let him gloat for now. Guodong crossed his arms and sneered. Does Jiangzhou have no men left? Why send a little girl like you here? A girl's figure appeared, followed by a man's foot. The person accompanying Miss Lu angrily questioned him. How dare you be so rude to our miss? Hearing this, Su Ao slowly clarified for the ignorant Guodong. Old Master Wu's health isn't good, so he invited Miss Lu to take his place. He made an O sound, indicating he understood. At that, Miss Lu waved her hand. The person immediately understood and backed off. The crowd continued to whisper, this is the prestige of Su Ao, the head of Jiangbei. At this point, Su Ao stood up, spreading his arms to begin his speech. Brothers, friend from all corners of the land, welcome to Qingyang. His voice was the only sound echoing in the space. Today, we in Jiangbei will use this martial arts competition to determine each family's territory, settling old grievances. Today, everything will be decided by victory in combat. At this moment, Guodong threw out a challenge. Tian Hao, where's your third master? I'll see where you hide today. As he spoke, he gestured to the person behind him. Receiving the command, the person moved quickly. He charged towards the arena. He stomped 1 foot hard on the ground to gain momentum. His eyes narrowed. A voice was heard immediately after. Below, Tian Hao exclaimed in shock. That damn bald scoundrel. My lifelong enemy. He looked at the person next to him. Master Gua, do you feel confident? Meanwhile, the spectators below were already noisy with commentary. Looks like a Muay Thai expert. They've trained since childhood, wrapping ropes around their bodies to practice striking rocks. They break bones and let them heal repeatedly, developing arms like pillars and thighs of steel. Master Gua asserted confidently, as long as he isn't a successor of the ancient Muay Thai secret arts, I'm sure I can defeat him. As soon as he finished speaking, he charged forward. In an instant, he stood before his opponent. Below, a comment rang out. Good kung fu. Luo Han clasped his hands and bowed to Gui Yi. Then he charged forward at high speed. The battle began in an instant. Chun Fan observed from the sidelines, commenting slowly, this punch is too unexpected. It leverages power from the waist and elbow. The speed is extremely fast. Luo Han delivered a blow to Gui Yi. He could only raise his hands to defend. He didn't stop, following through with another punch. Luo Han attacked relentlessly. Meanwhile, Guo could only stay on the defensive. He was getting annoyed. Damn it, I have to wait for an opening to counterattack. This sight pleased Guodong, who spoke up. Impressive, isn't he? The master I hired? He made a name for himself in Southeast Asia 10 years ago. They call him Eight-Armed Luo Han. Hearing this, Su Ao slowly commented. Luo Han? To be called Luo Han in Southeast Asia. His background must be quite something. Lao Gu next to him agreed. That's right, being called Luo Han is considered the highest honor. Chun Fan showed his displeasure openly. If this keeps up, Guo Wei is going to lose. Just as he thought that, on the ring, Guo Wei was sent flying by Luo Han. He could only curse. Damn it. Halfway through the fight, Luo Han leaped up, channeling force into his punch. He punched directly into Guo Wei's chest. He lost his balance and was sent flying off the ring. Guo Wei tried to brace himself with his feet. The result was a faceplant on the ground. Looking at Guo Wei's injuries below, Chun Fan thought, that punch must have shattered Guo Wei's ribs. He frowned darkly. If he'd hit the left side of his chest, it would have gone straight through to Guo Wei's heart. He'd be dead on the spot. Ashio covered her mouth in panic. Below the ring, Guo Wei held his injury and announced, I concede. Hearing this, Luo Han clasped his hands and bowed to his opponent. Having finished, he swiftly jumped back towards Guodong. Guodong seized the opportunity to speak arrogantly. So, Tian Hao, from now on, the territory of Lin Fu Town belongs to me. Tian Hao gritted his teeth, swallowing his anger. Kwok Dong continued setting conditions. What's more, the transportation routes from Chuzhou through Qingshui all belong to me. You're no longer allowed to interfere with them. Tian Hao was furious, but he was still the loser of this bet. Lin Fu Town, damn it. This time my losses amount to tens of millions. Then Guodong turned and asked Abu, where's Master Chun? Why hasn't he arrived yet? Abu replied. There are too many visitors here. It's really impossible to find him. But if Master Chen agreed to come, he will definitely come. Hearing this, Tian Hao sat down to wait. No one compares to Master Chen when it comes to killing someone instantly. Then he glanced over at Guodong and muttered, Baldy Lu, just you wait. When Master Chen gets here, I'll take back everything. On the other side, the bodyguard accompanying Miss Lu commented, Guo Wei is a master of minor internal strength cultivation. Yet he couldn't beat a Thai boxing practitioner. The person next to him added, Miss, he probably cultivates ancient Thai boxing secret arts. The murmuring of the spectators grew louder. Is Jiangbei out of talent? To let a Thai person run rampant here. It's really embarrassing for us Jiangbei people. At this point, Guodong crumpled the paper in his hand and snapped. Xing Zhong, if you want to die, I'll grant your wish. Xing Zhong twirled 2 metal balls in his hand, clicking his tongue in disdain. Guodong looked at him with some anticipation. Didn't you invite a master from abroad? Where is he? Did he get scared by the power of Thai boxing and run away? Xing Zhong faced the ring, clasped his hands, and called out loudly. I invite Master Hu. Su Ao was slightly taken aback when he heard this. Tian Hao on the side was equally shocked. Where did he come from? This Master Hu? Miss Lu frowned and whispered to the 2 bodyguards. I wonder who this deity is. Looking at Xing Zhong's confident demeanor, Guodong squinted. I'll sit back and watch this show. As if sensing the aura of the mysterious person, Chun Fan turned his head slightly. He darkened his expression and curled his lip. Interesting, there's actually a master like this here. Lao Gu nearby spoke softly. Brother Su, this time we're in big trouble. Miss Lu, seeing the bodyguard staring in one direction, asked curiously, What's wrong? Su Ao asked Lao Gu in return. Lao Gu, what do you mean by that? The crowd below stirred. Look, oh my god, it's Master Hu. Hearing this, he quickly turned to look. What's happening? As soon as he saw the sight below, Su Ao ground his teeth. What? Something seemed to be gliding over the surface of the water as it approached. The man, with his hands behind his back, strolled across the waves. Everyone present was utterly astonished. Is this even human? Is this magic? Even Su Ao was momentarily stunned. Tian Hao's eyes widened as he marveled. Walking on water. This is a typical display of internal strength. Miss Lu couldn't help but be shocked. Xing Zhong shouted loudly, Welcome Master Hu. Lin Hu lightly kicked the surface of the water. Taking a running start, he soared high into the air, then landed lightly, as soft as a feather. He looked toward the ring and said loudly, You are my opponent. Luo Han felt the invisible pressure, thinking, Beyond the heavens, there are higher heavens. Beyond the capable, there are more capable people. He flew down and continued, It is an honor to face a master. Lin Hu clasped his hands in front of him. Lin Hu gestured to Luo Han. You first. He roared in fury. How dare you insult me like this? Driven by pure rage, Luo Han attacked relentlessly. Lin Hu stood completely still, waiting for him. He observed for a moment, silently praising this body sacrifice secret technique of ancient Thai boxing. Not bad. Elder Gu above sighed. This type of secret technique can only be used 3 times in a lifetime. Afterward, it severely damages one's essence and vitality. Su Ao looked at Luo Han in surprise. He's putting everything on the line. Luo Han's body had now turned black. He charged directly at Lin Hu. Gui Yi, still clutching his wound, watched nervously. That kind of power. If it were me, I probably couldn't withstand 3 punches. Yet, Lin Hu didn't move an inch. Gui Yi was stunned. Lin Hu isn't even trying to dodge. Luo Han's powerful punch came flying toward him. Lin Hu didn't flinch, just staring intently. Then, 2 powerful fists collided in midair. With just one blow, he sent Luo Han flying. He even instantly flashed forward and kicked him. Luo Han couldn't react in time and let out a scream. Pressing the advantage, Lin Hu leaped high into the air. He unleashed the decisive strike. Luo Han was completely battered, lying face down on the ground. Lin Hu mocked in a loud voice, Too weak. If you trained for another 10 years, maybe you'd be able to trade a few blows with me. Finished speaking, he turned to face the upper-class individuals. Does anyone else want to come up and receive my guidance? Guodong gritted his teeth and muttered, Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Even someone as cold as Miss Lu seemed somewhat intimidated. After waiting a moment with no response, Lin Hu asked again, Is there no one else? He glared and let out a cold snort. Su Ao stared anxiously at him. Then he let out a sigh. He turned and asked Elder Gu, Elder Gu, are you confident? The elder understood immediately and replied, Master Su, thank you for taking in an old man like me for so many years. Before stepping onto the stage, the elder left one last statement. Let today be the last time I fight for you. From now on, Elder Gu and Lin, who were opponents. Elder Gu cupped his hands in greeting toward his opponent. Su Ao, with a serious expression, thought to himself, according to Elder Gu's words, he's preparing to fight to the death on the stage. Lin, who glanced at Elder Gu, internal energy grandmaster. You have a bit of skill. The elder asked in a cold voice. Who is your master? Lin, who didn't hesitate, thumping his chest as he announced. Hongmin, Tianju. The name caused a stir among the crowd. Hongmin is the big boss of overseas Chinese communities, an established organization with over 100 years of legacy. Su Ao couldn't hide his inner anxiety. It's an international behemoth. I can't possibly compare to them. Miss Lu frowned and quietly asked the person beside her, Is Tianju very famous? The bodyguard readily answered, Tianju is a great grandmaster who rarely appears in public. I heard he attained enlightenment in the Arctic tundra and created the Heavenly Secret Guidance secret technique with profound and unfathomable effects. He added some more information. That year, he defeated 16 experts from China, becoming the #1 grandmaster overseas. Miss Lu turned to him and exclaimed, That strong? What happened then? The bodyguard's face darkened, looking regretful. Ultimately, it was thanks to Nan Tian stepping in to defeat him. Tianju was forced to swear an oath never to set foot in China again for the rest of his life. Miss Lu glanced at the person on the stage and calculated. Nan Tian from the Yenjing military region? The bodyguard nodded firmly. Exactly. It was only after that fight that Nan Tian truly became famous throughout the world. Below, Chan Fan also came to his conclusion. The winner and loser are decided. Because on the stage, Elder Gu had just been knocked unconscious by Lin Hu and sent flying. He maintained his winning streak and asked loudly, Do you want to continue fighting? Su Ao, having lost his last resort, bowed his head. We forfeit. Xing Zhong cheered and praised on the side. Master Hu is mighty. Tian Hao only just realized. Master Hu? It's him. He's Lin Bao's older brother. Lin Hu's voice rang out, filled with pressure. My younger brother Lin Bao died in Chuzhou because he wasn't strong enough. He's dead, so be it. As he spoke, he clenched his fists tightly. But he was still my flesh and blood, and a disciple under my master Tianju. Our Hongmin must get justice. Lin Hu roared toward the audience stands. Master Chun, I know you've arrived. Lin Hu didn't hesitate to accuse Chun Fan. You killed my brother and destroyed the reputation of our Hongmin. How can I not seek revenge for this grudge? I, Lin Hu, want to personally experience your powerful techniques today. People below began whispering to each other. Who is this Master Chun that could make such a powerful overseas expert come seeking revenge? The girl asked cautiously. Could it be that Master Chun who was rumored about in Chuzhou before? Ashio's eyes were filled with worry. I'm afraid Master Chun heard the news and ran away. Tian Hao's legs were shaking on the side. Did Master Chun really flee? Xing Zhong laughed heartily from above. Meanwhile, Su Ao rested his chin on his hand in disappointment. Could there possibly be a Master Chun who steps forward to defeat Lin Hu and salvage this situation? Probably not. His laughter suddenly stopped. Because Chun Fan had appeared without anyone noticing. Are you calling me? Lin Hu looked at him with a darkened face. You are Master Chun? All eyes turned to Chun Fan. Ashio grabs his arm. Master Chun, please sit down. That man on the stage, he kills people. Chun Fan calmly reassures her. It's fine. I'm not afraid of him. To comfort her, Chun Fan turns and pats her head, declaring, You have a good heart. I'll take you on as my sister. Having said that, he pushes her hand away and walks off. Ashio's eyes well up with tears. Master Chun. He walks onto the stage with an air of confidence, each step steady and fearless. Su Ao looks at him in confusion. Chun Fan. What are you doing up here, kid? Get down immediately. Chun Fan replies nonchalantly, Well, if he called for me, of course I have to go up. Hearing this, Su Ao angrily yells, They called Master Chun, not you. Do you think anyone named Chun gets to be a master? Lao Gu finally gets up to stop him. With your amateur skills, you're just asking for death by going up there. Lao Gu tries to convince Chun Fan, Get back down quickly. Lord who is magnanimous, he won't hold it against you. Contrary to everyone's advice, Chun Fan just scoffs. Lin, who still doesn't believe the person in front of him is Master Chun. This brat probably doesn't have any real martial arts foundation. A brilliant golden light flashes in his eyes, but since he dared to step onto the stage, he should know he's going to die. I'll kill him as a warning. Miss Lu looks at her bodyguard worriedly. Can you save him? We can't let a normal person be beaten to death, right under the Lu family's nose. The bodyguard looks away slightly and shakes his head. I can't. Lin, who wants to use this bloody display to intimidate Jiangbei. Who would dare to intervene? It's a certain death sentence. A Xiao sits below the stage, repeatedly calling out, Master Chun, Master Chun. Lin, who raises his chin in disdain. I'm looking for Master Chun, not some insignificant cat or dog. Chun Fan meets his gaze with killing intent and replies, if the Master Chun you're looking for is the one who defeated your brother, then that's me. Su Ao is momentarily stunned. Is that true? Lin Xiong also couldn't believe his ears. What? To confirm what he said, Chun Fan comments, Lin Bao truly was too weak. One move from me scared him off, making him flee like a scared rat. I almost felt bad for him and held back my attack. I thought Lei Tianhua would come, not you. These words make Lin, who's so furious his brows knit together tightly. Not stopping there, Chun Fan adds fuel to the fire. Well, your martial arts might be weak, but they're still quite unique. I've never seen that water treading move before. Tianhao suddenly raises his hand and shouts, Master Chun, you finally come. His voice echoes throughout the arena. Master Chun, you must teach this Lin Hu a lesson. Let him know that our Jiangbei isn't to be trifled with. Su Ao's eyes widen in realization. Chun Fan is Master Chun? How can that be? A Xiao below also drops her jaw in realization. No wonder the vice chairman called him Master Chun. I thought it was just a special address in Chuzhou. Chun Fan scoffs while Lin Hu exclaims, I never expected you to be Master Chun. He laughs loudly. I don't care if you're Master Chun or Master Bei. You killed my brother and disgraced my school. He then quickly drops the smile for a sharp look. Today, I will use your blood to pay tribute to my brother's soul in heaven. As soon as he finishes speaking, a flame bursts from under his feet. His muscles bulge and veins pop out. Lin, who is now enveloped in a brilliant golden aura. He tenses up and roars Diamond Force. Miss Lu's bodyguard is stunned by Lin Hu's technique. Internal energy projected outward, chi condensed into threads. This is the secret art of heaven's absolute. Chun Fan scoffs, speaking condescendingly. You've only just reached the peak of internal energy, yet you can project internal energy outward. It seems you're only relying on this secret art. Chun Fan lowers his gaze, brings the spiritual energy ball in his hand forward. Forget it. Let me show you what true martial arts look like. Chun Fan accepts the challenge, his powerful aura erupting. True martial 36 forms. He points directly at Lin Hu and shouts, First form, Skyward Pierce. Lin Hu is extremely shocked by Chun Fan's power. How is this possible? These rays of energy can only be condensed by internal energy masters. They shouldn't be physical and wrap around someone like this. Without letting him wait, Chun Fan laughs loudly and explains, I told you, you don't know what true martial arts are. Lin Hu, feeling humiliated, replies irritably, this is just magic, isn't it? He then tenses his body, making his entire form swell up. Lin Hu assumes a defensive fist stance. He soars through the air, rushing towards Chun Fan. Take a punch from me. He chose to attack from behind. However, for Chun Fan, it's nothing significant, too weak. He extends his hand, focusing spiritual energy into it. Then he squats down, a strange light glinting in his eyes. Lin Hu tries to retreat, not good. He instantly puts several meters between himself and Chun Fan. Comments echo. Why is Lord Hu running before even fighting? The force from Chun Fan's attack causes the stage to crack open. Tianhao is so shocked, he falls to the ground. Is this martial arts? Lin Hu now knows what he's up against. This isn't magic. He is a top-level grandmaster of martial arts. His pupils contract, and worry clearly shows on his face. I should retreat now. Chun Fan is still in the process of demonstrating his next technique, second form, Water Cloud Hand. Lin Hu retreated, muttering, I can't fight him anymore. I must retreat. Chun Fan swung his hand. In an instant, he appeared behind Lin Hu. No way. Lin Hu decided to fight desperately. Then taste a punch containing all my life's cultivation. However, the punch he prided himself on was blocked by Chun Fan in one move. Chun Fan's fingertip even grazed his chest. He screamed in agony. Lin, who retreated to a corner, clutching his chest wound. The crowd began to buzz. What? Oh my god, that's a serious wound. Old Gu frowned as he analyzed the situation. That was just Chun Fan's fingertip lightly grazing him. If he had hit him squarely, I fear Lin, who would be cut in half. Lin, who coughed up blood from his severe injuries. He's too strong. I can only run. Having found an escape route, he quickly fled towards the coastline. I have the water-treading technique. If Chun Fan dares to chase, I dare to turn back and fight again. He reached the sea surface and let out a sigh of relief. I'm safe. But Chun Fan hadn't finished with him yet. Third move, Void Shock. A beam of light shot out like lightning. It struck Lin Hu in the back. Lin Hu took the full force of the 100-step Divine Fist. Miss Lu's bodyguard frowned skeptically. Chun Fan is 10 meters away, yet he was able to severely injure Lin Hu with a single punch. Miss Lu stood up in astonishment. This is a Hua Realm Grandmaster. The true power of a Grandmaster. Chun Fan teleported in front of Lin Hu. I thought your master would show up, so I prepared 7 moves. It's a shame you only lasted 3 moves. Lin Hu heard this and let out a laugh. Is that the true martial 36 forms? He collapsed to the ground, speaking his final words. To be able to see this fist technique before death. I have no regrets. The audience erupted. Lin Hu is dead. Chun Fan turned and looked at the powerful families in the high stands. Does anyone else want to fight me? Everyone present was completely stunned. Su Ao watched him and thought, in just a few minutes, Chun Fan killed Lin Hu using only 3 moves. Ashio couldn't help but celebrate. He won. Grandmaster Chun won. Looking at the young man in front of them, people couldn't help but ask, can a human really possess martial arts this powerful? Seeing the scene below the stage, Xingzhong became restless. Even Lin, who is dead. Who else can possibly fight Grandmaster Chun? Miss Lu felt a pang of self-reproach. I truly was like a frog at the bottom of a well. Tian Hao, like a fisherman reaping benefits, laughed loudly. Grandmaster Chun won. Su Ao watched Chun Fan's back from above, muttering to himself. Grandmaster Chun, huh? No wonder he didn't care about me. He finally smiled, understanding the reason behind it. With this kind of power, who needs things like power and money anymore? From now on, no matter what obstacles you face, I'll clear them all away with my sword. At this moment, Chun Fan's aura soared to the sky. To you people, Lin, who was a master of internal energy. He was a bird soaring in the international sky. But to me, he was just a worm. Xingzhong's bald head was drenched in sweat from fear. Grandmaster Chun, please spare me. Hearing this, Chun Fan took a step. What do you think? Chun Fan instantly appeared behind Xingzhong. I spared you once in Chuzhou, yet you brought Lin Hu back for revenge. Tell me, what should I do with you? He scrambled backward in terror. Stay away. Stay away from me. He even took a desperate gamble, pulling out a gun. Xingzhong pointed the gun at Chun Fan. Warning, if you take another step, I'll shoot. Chun Fan casually put his hands in his pockets. Oh really? Go ahead, shoot. Seeing Chun Fan's fearlessness, Xingzhong trembled as he threatened, I'm really going to shoot. Chun Fan glared seriously at him. Shoot. In his agitation, he fired the gun. Miss Dawn's eyes widened. Grandmaster Chun. Su Ao's jaw dropped as he watched the situation unfold. Miss Lu anxiously called out, Chun Fan. The bullet casually pierced Chun Fan's hand, creating a loud bang, but he was completely unharmed. Even a gun can't kill him. Old Gu felt intense pressure. Internal energy externally released. True Chi forming a steel barrier. This is a Hua Realm Grandmaster. He continuously sighed in admiration. With martial arts at the Hua Realm, what is there to fear from bullets? Chun Fan, holding the bullet he caught, looked at Xingzhong. You actually dare to shoot? Then I won't forgive you. Xingzhong paled in fear and cried out. He tried to run away as Chun Fan flicked the bullet back in response. Xingzhong couldn't evade it. Chun Fan had sent him on his way. Shani saw this and knelt down, begging, Grandmaster Chun, please spare my life. Grandmaster Chun, spare me. Su Ao also descended from the high platform and spoke up. Grandmaster Chun, your martial prowess is peerless. Jiangbei was saved by your intervention this time. He cupped his hands and bowed respectfully. From today forward, Jiangbei will be your vanguard. We will strike where you command. If you have any orders, we will not fail you. Miss Dong and the rest of the audience passionately supported Grandmaster Chun. They chanted in unison, without prearrangement. Master Chun, Master Chun, Master Chun. Ashio looked at Chun Fan as if he had a beauty filter applied. He's truly handsome. Standing amidst the cheers and admiration of everyone, Chun Fan's voice was now the only one that mattered in Jiangbei. After the acclamation at the martial arts hall, that night, Ashio felt incredibly insecure. No wonder Master Chen doesn't even spare me a glance. I'm just so ordinary. Moonlight illuminated a villa. Inside, Chun Fan sat in the position of honor. He asked Shan He skeptically, "Are you telling the truth?" Shan He, trembling, didn't dare lie. "If I've spoken a single falsehood, may my ancestors in heaven strike me down forever." Chun Fan held a piece of jade marble in his hand. Shan He continued to explain, "My sect truly possesses a secret place called the Een Dragon Pool. Inside it is Een Essence Stone. However, I only know that its Een energy is very heavy, capable of nurturing ghosts. I'm not sure about its other uses." Seeing his sincerity, Chun Fan slightly raised an eyebrow. "I'll spare you for now." He was secretly delighted. This trip truly wasn't in vain. This is exactly the material I need for the Cloud Mountain Grand Formation. Chun Fan then asked curiously, "Your sect is in Dongdu City, Zhongzhou Province, right?" Shani responded briefly. Receiving the confirmation, Chun Fan left them with instructions. "There's no time to delay. I'll head back to Chuzhou first. You guys don't need to follow me. Tian Hao will take me back." Sometime later, it was the next evening. Chun Fan was alone in the woods when someone furtively watched him from a hiding place. Chu Ruan's cheeks were flushed with nervousness. "Did you call me here for something?" Chun Fan replied calmly. "I need to leave Chuzhou for a while. I need you to explain things to Aunt Tang." Hearing this, her hand gripped the tree trunk even tighter. "You want to leave? Where are you going? For how long?" He answered each question in turn. "To Dongdu City, Zhongzhou Province, for 3 or 4 months." Chu Ruan reacted passionately. "Why are you going there? For over 3 months? Are you going to study?" Stepping out of the shadows and closer to Chun Fan, she continued, "If you keep going like this, not only will you be unworthy of Fei Fei, but you won't even pass the university entrance exam. How could someone like Miss Wei possibly look highly upon you?" Finally, Chu Ruan expressed her true feelings. "Chun Fan, please don't leave. Can you stay?" Chun Fan dismissed her plea, extending something towards her. "I absolutely must go. This is the key to the villa on the mountaintop. Take it. When you have free time, you can bring Aunt Tang up to visit. Take her to see the clouds." After entrusting her with everything, Chun Fan left immediately. "Chun Fan, don't go." Chu Ruan chased after him, calling out, "Chun Fan, Chun Fan." He replied calmly, "Just go up and see for yourself. Take a look." She yelled back furiously, "Are you still bragging at a time like this? You're just talking nonsense because you don't want to lose face, aren't you?" Chu Ruan looked up at the house above and thought, "Wouldn't I know if it's real or fake if I just go up there?" The ugly duckling turned into a swan because it was a swan all along. In the end, Chu Ruan didn't go up. She walked away, her eyes firm. She thought, "I don't believe Chun Fan can become successful overnight." He continued towards the car waiting for him. As soon as Chun Fan got in, Shan He asked, "Master Chun, are we going to Dongdu now?" Looking slightly tired, Chun Fan replied, "Not so fast. Before we go, there's one more place I want to visit. Jinling City, Foreign Language School Gate." Chun Fan stood by the gate as if waiting for someone. Fang Qiong had just finished her classes and was saying goodbye to her classmates. After waving, she headed out. Fang Qiong quickly exited the school, running out. Suddenly, a car appeared in front of her and stopped. She gently waved away the car, refusing to get in. In the car behind, someone quietly watched everything. Chun Fan, standing afar, also saw her get into another car. Shani asked curiously, "Master, should we follow them?" Chun Fan's expression darkened. "No need. Just seeing her is enough." Chun Fan motioned past Shan He. "Let's go." He told himself, "I've waited 500 years for this moment. I have enough patience to wait longer. The next time we meet, I will definitely have the absolute power to protect you."